Yo.
You hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, this is my new mic, dog. Oh, yeah. Let's start this podcast. We got a new mic in house today, so we'll see how it goes. I don't know if it sounds good, if it sounds bad, if you guys are happy, if I'm sad. Listen, here's the thing. I got to cut out this music. All right, done. Do you hear that? Will you put on them headphones? I think it's crackling. Audience, if you guys are hearing a crackling sound, just please let me know. Otherwise, I think it's in studio that we're hearing that crackling. You hear it on your headphones?
It's definitely headphones.
Yeah, and I don't think the audience is hearing it, but if they are, please reach out. So, welcome back to the Attitude for Gratitude podcast here at Will Work for Recovery, 2520 North 2nd Street. Every day of the week, we've got meetings going on here. We've got events that are always happening, barbecues, Sunday Fun Day. Come on in, youngin'. We got Sunday Fun Day where $3 and they're cooking good food. I think we still have that. It's a chef who's in recovery who comes down here and he hits up the grill. And like we've got good meats that get donated and whatever, beans and potatoes and, you know, all that good barbecue stuff. They do that every Sunday down here during the sports season. It's always a good time. Wednesdays, we have a men's meeting and a women's meeting at 5 o'clock. Other than that, it's every evening at 7 p.m. we have meetings. 6:30 a.m. structured AA meetings throughout the week. We've got tons of meetings that are happening here and more that are always continually opening up. So come on down here and check out Will Work for Recovery. Come on down, check out this place, 2520 North 2nd Street. Bear with the whole camera situation. I'm trying to see what works best. I know I get, like, this one here shows everybody, but it's hard to really, I get a lot of complaints about this view.
It's weird.
It is weird, but this is the one view where everyone, look at it, if you're sitting here, you can see, if you're sitting here, what's that?
He wants to know if you got a piece of candy.
Yeah, that's Chex Mix. That's homemade Chex Mix. But
It's not candy.
Here we go. I got some Starburst here. Hang on. Here you go, buddy. There you go. Chocolate and Starburst. I feel weird. Hey, come on in. You want some candy, kids? Hey, share a piece with someone. Ask someone else if they want a piece of that. You got a lot in your hands. So, you guys didn't tune in to hear us passing out candy. But you did tune in to hear us talk about some recovery. Come on, grab a seat, man. You're good. As always, if you're out there, if you're struggling, if life's gonna show up. We know that. The one good thing about these rooms is that, for me, is I've learned how to find some outlets for that aren't the way the outlets used to be. What I want you to know is if you're out there struggling, reach out to someone. Come on down here, get connected, make yourself get connected. That's the key thing. You're worth this life of recovery. You're worth finding some happiness. We go through it. Life's going to show up. I've been in recovery for multiple years now, and life still shows up. It doesn't care that I changed my life around. We almost didn't have a show tonight because I chose to go help someone who got in a pickle, and I left to go help, and it's just what it is. But luckily, I am able to get back in time. I kind of like the view. Oh, Jalissa, thank you. I respect your view on this. She said, I kind of like the view of seeing everybody. I'm nosy. I prefer to see what the frig is going on. Thank you, Jalissa. With that said, we're going to stick with this view then. That's all I ask is feedback. And that goes hand in hand with questions or any ideas that you want to see the show go, any direction you want to see it go, something you want us to talk about, topics, questions for our guests, anything. Nothing's off limits. You can put it in the comments section or you can message me directly. I will put up the banner that has my phone number on it somewhere in here. Yep, right here you go. So my number's going across the bottom of the screen. If you don't want to put it in the comment section, just reach out to me directly, and I will do my best to address your questions. So, young man, who are you?
I'm Mike.
Oh, I bet I got to do this so we can hear who you are. Who are you?
I'm Mike.
Hey, Mike, welcome to the show.
I'm Dan.
Dan, welcome to the show. Ooh, just try to get as close as you guys can to the mics. They're goofy, so if you move them, they get all goofy. So get closer to the mic.
I'm Dan.
All right, move your seat up. That way it's easier. Jimmy's in the house. Young man, who are you? Donnie's in the house. Wesley, welcome to the show. You guys are up, and I got two guests. I'm going to be running through some, and then you guys are up, so you can fellowship for a few minutes, and then I need you both on. All right, don't go far.
His mic is off.
Your mic ain't off. Who are you?
Mic check, Wesley.
See, I heard Wesley loud and clear.
Because he's next to your ear.
No, because I unmuted him. Thank you, Mike. You're right. It was on mute. I got all these beautiful faces popping in and out, and hey, I overlook some things sometimes. I must be an addict. Wesley, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Is this the first time I've had you on?
This is the second. This is
That-
the first
with me?
time. This is the first time I came on my own.
Yeah, I didn't have
Yeah.
to twist your arm.
You didn't have to. Right.
How's your recovery going?
It's going well.
What's it been looking like? Talk to us.
It's been looking like work every day. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's really what it is. Because when I was in active addiction, I worked on getting high or doing the next bogus thing. You know what I mean?
The next bogus thing. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Young man, how's your recovery been looking like?
My recovery is going good. I just celebrated 5 months on Monday.
Oh, there we go. Everyone out there, you can't hear it, but that was a clapping audience in our ears. And then I also hit the echo. You guys hear that?
Oh my God.
I'm a DJ, man. Come on, man. And then I do that so I can hear the echo. I'm a dark. All right, echo's off. 5 months. That's an amazing. Talk to us. How's this 5 months been going? Been easy?
It's been a struggle.
What do you mean?
It's been easy but a struggle at the same sense.
Oxymoron. Come on.
Yep.
It's been easy, but it's been a struggle.
Okay.
What do you mean?
It's been easy because I've been on house arrest.
Okay.
I really can't go too many places other than meetings or sober events,
Okay.
things like that. But in my back of my head, I still question what's going to happen when I get done with jail or court, Am I going to still have that extra, drive to stay sober?
Do you have any goals?
Yeah, I want to have a kid. I did get a sponsor too on Monday.
All
that
right.
was one of my goals. I got a
All
sponsor. He actually found me. It was because we went to a fellowship and we're talking. He's like, well, what are you doing for Friday? And I was telling him kind of some stories of things that happened where I had near-death experiences. He was like, well, have you figured out your purpose yet? And I was like, well, no. He's like, no, your purpose is to carry the message to the addict who still suffers. He's like, why haven't you got a sponsor? And I kind of was like, He said, all right, take your phone out. Here's my number.
So you're working the steps of Narcotics Anonymous?
Yep.
That a boy.
Oh, I'm going to start. I just,
Get yourself a step working guide? Did you get one of those yet?
Not yet.
Not yet, but you will.
Yep.
You got your basic text yet?
Nope.
But you will.
I will.
All right. We're gonna next time I get you on air, we're gonna be talking about that stuff.
Yep.
So is the 12 steps of NA different from the
A
AA?
little bit. They derive from the steps of AA, but this is a recovery show and it's not a specific fellowship show of AA or NA or CMA or
It's just
GA.
right.
We just talk recovery.
Okay. I
And
just
whatever
wanted
his
to know
story
that.
looks like, that's his story. I'm not here to block him from sharing about his story, but I might ask some questions that have to do with the fellowship he's talking about. Because he just said something that made me understand that it's probably Narcotics Anonymous he's working with.
But yeah, the treatment center I went to, though, I started to work out of the Wellbriety book, The Red Road to Wellbriety.
Okay.
And so I kind of wanted to go towards that, but I haven't really been to a Wellbriety meeting yet. I go to CMA, NA, AA. I try to keep at least one good, firm AA, in my arsenal of meetings because every other A is based out of the AA Big Book.
Okay.
And so I go to a men's only, a real, kind of
Structured.
yeah,
Yep,
real
yep.
structured with a lot of old timers who got a lot of years of sobriety in them. And it's a men's only meeting, and I love it. It's the first meeting I went to out of treatment, and so I make sure I go to that one all the time. But I've always been scared to kind of work the steps. I started to work.
Why?
I don't like it. In my active addiction, I hit a lot of my stuff.
What was your drug of choice?
Mostly methamphetamine.
Methamphetamines.
Yep.
Did you was your plug like a dude at like 7-Eleven or where would you No, bear with me. How'd you find your plugs? I don't need names.
No, my plug actually found me.
Your plug found you?
Yeah, it was
Alright.
it was a female. She was going through a time where she was struggling, and I was a good friend, and I helped her out.
Good enough. All right. So, when you run out of dope, what'd you do?
Ask for a front.
All right. You weren't scared to ask to front some dope?
No,
No fear.
no,
Like you wanted that high.
yeah,
What's your fear about doing the steps again?
kind of just getting that old stuff out. I
Alright.
don't want to tell. It's like I said, I've hit a lot of things. I don't.
You see this trap I'm setting,
yeah,
right?
I know.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
exactly.
But
what you're saying.
and listen, everyone's different. I get it. When we come in these rooms, our heads clear up and we finally start feeling emotions and all this shit happens. It's easier said than done sometimes. But a suggestion is exactly
Yeah.
that.
But
You,
like
you
a-
weren't scared to front
No.
dope.
No. But like I said before, last time I was on the podcast, I've been in the program before.
Yeah.
And I started to work my steps. I made it my first, my second, and my third. But I hit that 4-step wall, where I had to start bringing out all those things from the past, my resentments, those fears and all that stuff. And, like I said before, when you hit a wall, you do two things. You either hit the wall and bounce back, or you break through it. And, well, I hit it and I bounced back for 10+ years.
So you mean when you hit a wall?
Yeah, when I hit a wall.
Yeah. When you hit a wall, I'm gonna be an ass like that. I
Hey,
mean,
that's fine.
It's nothing personal. It's
Hey.
just,
It's the beard.
it's the beard. Man, I got your beard.
Yeah.
I got your beard. No, but being open, talking about it. That's always like step one through anything. That's how you're
Yeah.
gonna start with it. You're recognizing it. So Wesley,
Yes, sir.
you come to Will Work for Recovery. I usually see here almost every Friday night. It seems like.
I do.
Is this a Friday night home group for you?
Yes.
What other meeting? Do you go to any other meetings,
I
or
don't.
you work crazy, right?
I mean, I work 4 days a week, and I'm a father to a 4-year-old, almost 5-year-old. So that that's a full-time thing. You know.
Oh
what I mean?
yeah. Is that a full-time thing, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He got a couple. There's a guy who's about to be on. He's learning about it, So, how does that struggle happen? Like, you have kids and you're doing recovery. How does that even work out?
What's the question?
Questions. How do you manage? How do you manage your time and how do you manage? I guess, explain what it's like. You bring your shorty here, don't you?
Oh yeah, he's here every week with me. Yeah, I can't go nowhere without him.
Because we do have daycare, or we do have some people that'll keep your kids safe while you're at your meeting, or
No, because he keeps me safe. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what it's about. You know what I mean? If I'm not with my kid, it's a dangerous atmosphere. You know what I mean? Because I'm reaching out to people probably that I shouldn't be sometimes, because I've never turned my back on where I came from. You know what I mean? And I do that for the purpose behind that is I'd like to pull some people out of that. You know?
right.
But I mean, I do that from a safe distance via Facebook messages or, maybe a couple phone calls. I check in, see how they're doing, check the temperature, are you ready yet? And if they're not ready, I mean, I can't do much about it, but go to work at 4:30 in the morning. You know what I mean?
And that's what time you go to work?
Yeah,
4:30?
yeah, yeah.
Days get long when it's nights like this, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Or do you work Monday through Thursday?
Monday to Thursday. Yeah.
Nice. So Friday, Saturday,
Yeah.
Sunday you got off.
Yeah.
So then,
Is your job hiring?
No, sir. No.
we'll do
I was
job.
just
we'll-
about to ask that.
We do that after the show.
No.
So, quick question.
Yeah.
Like, you've got your 4-year-old. You work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tonight you come to this meeting. What does the rest of your weekend look like? Do you just dad and son time, or what do you do? What do you do for fun?
I mean, life for me has been a little bit different. You know what I mean? Because I live this this extroverted life while in addiction. You know what I mean? And now I'm coming to realize that that extroverted life that came with consequences. You know what I mean? Because I put myself in places that I was never safe. And then now in recovery, you know what I mean? I'm finding that I'm an introvert. You know what I mean? So now I have this war with myself. You know what I mean? Am I an extrovert? Am I an introvert? How do I
You know who you are.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of the times that's a very uncomfortable conversation I have with myself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. With acceptance that, you know what I mean, I'm not that dude no more. You know what I mean? So, what you had a question, and I hope I answered.
Yeah,
some
no,
of it.
you
Yeah.
did. The balance side of things with the kid, work, recovery, and then your free time, and you covered all of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, is there anything you want to talk about that I haven't asked you?
No. I just want you to have a good night. Thank you for.
Yeah, no,
thanks for
you
having
ain't
me.
done.
Oh,
You're
no,
not going
okay.
nowhere. I just wanted to make sure.
I was
I
about
just
to
wanna make
vamp,
sure.
dog.
I got 2 more questions before I
Okay.
let you go. Matter of fact, we'll do that now, and then Donnie, you're up after him. You're coming over here, and
Son,
then you
go find your
are up
papa,
after
please.
my young man here, Wesley. Or no, that's Wesley. Sorry, Wesley.
Yes,
Any
sir.
superpower, what would it be?
Oh,
If you could have any superpower into the mic, what would it be?
like a time thing. You know what I mean? If
Like
I
a
could,
time-
if
like a
I could-
time portal?
A time portal. Yeah, absolutely. If I could go back. and-
travel?
Time travel, all that. Yeah. I mean, if I could change the times for anybody, you know what I mean? Like, stop. Everybody stop, freeze. You know what I mean? Or let's go back a couple minutes and then we'll, you know what I mean? Figure out the answer to this question, answer it better. You know what I mean?
During my
Yeah.
test back in high school, if I could have some time travel.
Yeah.
All right, name of the show is Attitude for Gratitude. Tell us about gratitude.
Still on me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, great.
And then you can leave.
Oh, thank you. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for a lot of things. I'm grateful to have a home. I mean, I'm grateful to have a lot of things that I just dreamt about, especially while in addiction. You know, what I mean, I had all these dreams. You know, have a home, have a family, have a job, have a car, have a license. I have all these things. You know what I mean? And honestly, you know, as I name all those things and people hear these, they're probably like, "Wow, it's amazing, all that." And I'll be completely honest. I got all this in the first year and a half. And it really doesn't take much. If you change your mind, your mindset, the direction that you're traveling, the energy that you focus, you know what I mean? Or you put your energy towards positive things, they come in plenty.
Right.
And they come abundantly. And that's how I got that. So I'm grateful for all those things. I appreciate you.
Wesley, I appreciate you. Donnie, batter's up. Talk to me about something real quick.
Yep.
Here's my question to you. What do you do when you're struggling?
I reach out to people.
What do you mean? You pick the phone up, you come to meetings?
Both. I call people. I go to meetings. I go to probably 5 to 6 meetings a week.
All right, so with 5 months under your belt, what have been some of the biggest hurdles for you? What have been some of the biggest struggles for you in this 5 months of recovery? What have been some call them triggers or what's been some of the biggest hurdles for you in this last 5 months?
Just wanted to say fuck it. Sometimes, you know, like being on house arrest and stuff, and knowing that I might be still going to prison, and just kind of like fuck it. Why am I doing all this? You know, when the judge isn't gonna accept it or look at it right. But then at the same time, I go back and I look at it as I'm feeling better in my life now than I ever was. You know, when whether I had money, when I was out getting high or had the cars or had all the other stuff, I wasn't really happy, but I'm happy now. So
Real joy.
yeah, real joy. So, even with them struggles, I just try to get them out of my head right away and, reach out, go to meetings. And like I said before, on last time I was on, I tried to hit a meeting like I hit the dope man's house.
That's what I was getting at. And you answered your own question. Try to approach my suggestion. Try to approach all of your recovery like that. Don't let none get in the way of your recovery. unless something's worth your recovery. It's not for me to say.
Yeah.
It's
See,
not that's not
you
my
know,
story.
I do. I try to take that same approach because I live out in Rosemount, which is 45, 50 minutes from
Right.
here. And I come here, twice a week. And I go to meetings all over the place,
Right.
whether I got to, get a ride from someone, get a lift. I remember the first time I came out here, I took a lift, $57 to come out here, And
Fucking half gram of dope.
exactly, but it was worth it. After I came to this place, I was like, this is home, and I'm gonna keep coming back.
You're buying insurance on your life.
Exactly.
I mean, everyone. Did we all just go deaf?
No.
No.
Just me. Oh, so it is my mic, my headphones. Sorry, boys and girls. I know I can still do this. Now what? You like that?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
You know what? Listen, I'm a little child with my toys, okay? Is there anything you'd like to add that I haven't talked to you about?
No, not really. I already know you're gonna ask. The name of the thing is attitude for gratitude, and what?
No. What's your superpower? Any superpower under the sun?
Last time I said memory, just to be able to memorize things. But I watched a movie. I would like to be in two places at once.
Ooh, so what movie was that? Where dude
Madam
had
Web.
all sorts of different bodies. What was that? Where dude could make it? Was that Deadpool? He was one of the prisoners in the truck that they freed, or X-Men, where he was tons of different bodies. He had like 30 different bodies. So when they're doing a bank heist, he had all these extra bodies.
Yeah, but you got to be in a facility of yourself, though.
You know what? You're getting too deep. Okay, so
I'm sorry, I know
multiple
about it.
bodies. Attitude for gratitude. Tell me about your gratitude.
I'm grateful to feel happy, real joy now. Grateful for the relationship I got with my girlfriend, her kids, and with my family, and just grateful to be grateful now. I thought I was grateful when I was using, but I wasn't. I was grateful for the, what do you want to call it? The instant gratification things. And now I'm grateful for the long-term gratification things.
Long-term gratification things.
You in this passing candy?
You know
around
what? Look
thing?
at what I put in my candy jug, because these are the best sauces in the world. Zantigos. Don't sleep on Zantigos.
I thought she had
Oh,
peanut
Chico's
butter. I was
is
about to say,
fire.
dude, this is not gel anymore.
I thought you were going to pull out peanut butter.
Yeah, like that's what I thought. He put out peanut butter. I'm like, this dude's crazy.
Peanut butter. I don't got my dog here, you weirdo. Here, you want
Man,
some of
he
these?
just gave us candy.
All right. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate you, young man.
Yep.
Until next time, because I'm going to hear about where you're at with your steps next time.
Oh, you will.
All right. I'm going to put you on that. Michael,
Or what?
what's been some of the biggest struggles for you in your recovery?
You're going on, man.
Yes, you are.
You know, for the last week, I've been having like using dreams.
Using dreams? Jimmy?
Yes,
I'll see you tomorrow morning.
that's
Make that money.
using
dreams.
Using dreams.
So
like,
you wake up sweaty, or what happens? Tell me about what's a using dream. Explain to these people who've never had one.
Going to the smoke shop, grabbing a Uzi.
What's an Uzi? Like a gun?
No, man, glass pipe, and
Like a crack pipe? A meth pipe?
either one.
Okay.
A damn pipe. Not even no weed either. It's always the hard shit. And then I wake up like, oh my God, I gotta go take a piss for these people. I didn't just do that.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
what's this in this last week? Has anything happened that would have once had you nervous?
I had a UA yesterday.
I didn't know how to ask it in a good way. Okay.
I had a UA yesterday for CPS, and I'm getting random UAs now.
And were you all nervous when you had to take it?
No,
Why?
because I'm clean as hell.
Huh?
Like,
That. Hey, look. Yeah.
oh my
Dude, he's like 10.
God. I swear to God, like, what is wrong with him?
Oh yes. Welcome to the show, young man. Who are you?
Charlie.
All right, boys, get as close as you can to those mics without having to move them to you. I'm sorry. So move chairs, get close. It's
Check.
awkward. Yeah, check.
Check,
Charlie,
check,
welcome to the show. Who are you, young man?
My name is Donnie. I am an addict.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. How's that?
No, that's better. That's good. You're good. All right, Donnie, welcome to the show. Charlie, welcome to the show. So, Charlie, how long have you been in recovery?
I have been in and out of recovery since I was 15. This last time.
Try to get a little closer to that. Sorry. You've been in recovery since you're 15. Say that again. I'm sorry.
Been in recovery since I was 15 and in and out. And This this last go around, I just got my 3 years. So
That's what's up.
3 years. I thought. Wait, is this a sponsor-sponsee relationship?
this is
Picked up on that, did you?
This is.
But who's who?
Take a guess.
Donnie. Donnie, how long have you been in recovery
Successfully.
successfully?
Successfully.
Or how much time do you have right
A
now?
little over 3 years.
Okay.
I'd say probably 7 days longer than someone who just talked, if I
Okay.
was to be exact.
7 days.
420 is my clean date.
420.
Yeah, I like to be clever.
420.
Oh my god.
All right, so enough of the games. I know you from a meeting that we hold tomorrow morning called Scars and Tattoos, which is not from my place as the host of the show to talk about because I keep tradition out of my
You
side
can
of
break
things.
my anonymity whenever you want, but I don't care.
Nice. Charlie?
Of course.
All right.
I'm here for it.
Put someone on the spot about breaking their
Scars and
hand. That's fucked
tattoos.
up.
I can because
Yeah,
It's
there's a
because-
meeting. Would you like to talk about your Saturday meeting on here?
yeah, like I got scars and tattoos. Like what's going on?
Our Saturday meeting takes place at Iktomi Tattoo on Saturdays at 10 a.m. It's on NA's website, if I'm not mistaken.
Where's
Thanks to Tim.
where is it?
It's in South Minneapolis, right outside Uptown, in like the nice area, right by I'm gonna butcher the name, but like Bob Musca Lake.
Biddy Makasa.
Come on, come
Better
on.
better
Yeah.
Lake
No,
Calhoun.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll let the black man say it.
It's in the nice part of South Minneapolis.
I could have said the native. Are either you guys native?
No.
No.
Damn, I was hoping, man. Will was here. I'd be like, hey, Will, you say it. I guess the black part means nothing. So, can we
fucking-
talk about this Afro-American
Dude,
thing?
what?
Try to keep up, boys.
I'm fucking
keep it
native
up.
too. Fuck you, man.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Well, then you get the pass. Watch your mouth. We got young kids here.
Oh, yeah.
Like your daughter, right next to you. All right, so you're the one who just. What'd you call that lake?
Better Makaska.
Oh, I
That
thought
actually
you called
sounds
it-
right.
You
Yeah.
know it is. He's right.
Yeah.
And plus, he's the native dude, and he called it. What'd you call it before that?
Lake Calhoun.
Just so everyone understands where the tattoo shop is by the old Lake Calhoun, but now it's Betty Maki Ska. I mumbled it just so it kind of sounded good. All right, here you go, girls.
No more candy.
Oh,
Dude, it's like 8:30. They're children.
Dude, like, go, girls.
You know
go.
what sugar does to
Go.
them?
Go.
all right. Well,
Go.
that's just the kind of recovery we do here. Get other kids all jazzed up. Charlie,
Go.
what's been the biggest struggles for you in your recovery? Like this last 3 years, what have been the things that have been like really held you up?
Definitely. You know, I didn't really get a sponsor until I was about 13 months clean, and even then it's been tough for me. I don't know. I just been kind of coasting through, white knuckling it. You know.
What? Say that again. I'm sorry. I was disrespectfully
White
not
knuckling
listening.
it?
Would you go over that again? What's the struggles and what have you been white knuckling through?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
just white knuckling through life. You know, just raw dogging life. You know.
It's decent.
But you know, I think the biggest struggles have been just stuff that I've been through. You know, like we lost a couple babies a few years ago. You know, and but by God's grace, my baby was born 8 days ago. So let's
You know what? Fuck all that
go.
fake
Let's
shit.
go.
Congratulations.
But,
So you're a new father?
First baby?
Yes, sir.
First
Yeah,
baby?
First baby. Yeah.
Girl or boy?
Girl.
Look at this. And sponsee.
Little girl.
All right, we're going to pause right there. Young man to my right, Donnie.
Yeah.
Oh, here, give me. I'll show you. So, Donnie, has anything significant happened for you, too?
Well, just press the side button there. Yeah, that beautiful angel there. She was born March 12th. Yeah, it's been pretty significant. And oh my God, stop! You're gonna make me cry. You know, I met my now fiance early in recovery. We didn't start dating. Just I'm gonna preface that. We actually did this thing where we became friends. And we were like best friends for about a year and a half. You know, and in that time we had worked steps. We both sponsor. And you know, one thing just kind of led to another. And we just started hanging out. And yeah, now we just had our first kid
Little beautiful baby girl.
Beautiful baby girl.
Getting married in October.
Yes.
Girls are the best.
Yeah, I guess.
Which is
Do you have
crazy.
a little boy or girl?
Little
We-
girl.
Yeah, girls are the
There's
best,
just
man.
in the last month or 2 months, there's been 4 girls born in our friend group.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then
Two
you got
twins,
your 2
yes.
girls.
Yeah, girls are the best, man. They're gonna take care of you when you get old, and they're daddy's girls.
Not all girls. Hey, listen. We'll go somewhere else with this. So, back to you real
Don't say
quick.
some crazy
How
shit, too.
I know. No, how long have you been with your baby's mom?
About 3 years now.
3. Oh, so
Yeah.
you've been with her since your whole recovery
Yeah,
time for the
damn
most
near,
part.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
She in recovery?
No, she's not.
Okay, she's not one of us.
No, she's just a normie.
Yeah.
She grew up around all of
Yeah, her
the
dad's
program.
alcoholic, and she grew up in the room, so
Okay, so she's familiar with our lives.
yeah,
our
for
lives.
sure. Yep.
So 8 days. What's been the biggest joys over this last month with having a new baby?
Biggest joys over this last month.
I'm not gonna ask you about your sleep schedule because I know that's probably been fucked up and like. just
You know, I would
balancing
love to get on this thing and be like, yeah, it's really tough, and I do so much work. But like, shout out to Casey.
Casey.
I do not function without her. When I sleep, I basically fell out, and I'm out until I wake up. To this day, yeah.
She does really good with support because you don't have a typical work schedule for the most part. Like,
No, I'm very grateful in that I'm self-employed. I'm my own boss. I make my own schedule. But I also chose to be the sole provider of our family, thus meaning I do work a lot. But it's by choice, and it's, I'm very blessed to be able to, like, if I need to take a day off because she's going through it with the baby, I can do that. Very grateful.
side note is the place that we have this meeting tomorrow at Iktomi Tattoos.
Oh my God.
Iktomi Tattoos.
There.
All right. Donnie is also one of the main tattoo artists there, and that's what he does for his career, correct? He's an
Yes.
award-winning
Oh, here we
tattoo
go.
artist.
Award winning. Let's go.
100%.
Multiple award-winning. if we're
Multiple
gonna do
awards
it.
and trophies.
I'm gonna
and
need your number. I
plaques.
need a back piece done.
I got you.
Look, this man, look, Ashley, listen, tattoo after tattoo, everything he posts, it's masterpiece artwork type stuff. I got some anonymity breaking videos of him doing artwork during the meeting, which I shouldn't do, and pictures of him and his baby during the meeting, which I shouldn't do. But some of these pictures I got.
Don't
you
worry,
would
Tim
understand.
only takes pictures and videos of me in meetings and no one else. Yeah.
I'm kind of fanboyish.
Yeah.
Like,
He's got a mild crush on me. It's
Yeah, I troll his Facebook, all that good shit. So, what have been some of the hardest struggles for you in your recovery?
Some of the hardest struggles in my recovery.
Yeah, whether it was early recovery or it still is today, what have been some of the struggles in the hurdles?
So, I should preface, like, when I went to treatment, I didn't go to treatment because I was tired of getting high. I went to treatment because I was tired of going to jail. I was homeless, and at that point, I have 4 active warrants, and I heard that they can't come get you at treatment, which I then found out to be true. And
Just can't go outside the smoking area.
right. And I wrote it out.
He was
At-
crying in this one.
At treatment.
I was there.
And then I went to intensive outpatient with lodging because, when I showed up to treatment, I had nothing. Like, everything that I owned consisted of 2 duffel bags and, narcotics and felony warrants. That was just my life. And, I went to outpatient, and then, I had to deal with all those warrants. For about the first 9 months of my recovery, I was looking at a prison sentence, and that was a big struggle in the beginning. I was still on that in the first 6 months or so, I was still on that. How am I going to scam the system? I was trying to collect unemployment. Because everyone was getting hit with that money during COVID, right?
Yeah.
COVID,
And-
that's $600
Yeah.
a week.
I was trying to get back pay for 2.5 years. I was just a homeless junkie committing crime. I was trying to scam my way into this unemployment for my first 6 months of being clean. And the saying goes, you can be clean and live dirty. That's what I was about for. I remember it was during the day of my 6 months. I was so excited to get my tag, and then I had to go clear up all those warrants. And so I this amazing nonprofit. Oh my God, how am I spacing the name? Freedom Funds. They posted up all my bails. The only thing I had to do was go to Washington County to get booked and released. So I thought they got me an Uber out there and everything, and then they take me in. And for those that have been to Washington County, you know, they take you down, and you just sit there, and like 4 or 5 hours went by, and I was like, what is going on? And then they ended up like having me change out and then go sit in a cell. Then I got out the next day, and you know, for the first time, I didn't get high when I got out of jail, and you know, it was at that point where my recovery took like a real like turn. Like,
So, pause. Up until this point, like, you went in there, you were still in, were you still in a scamming mind? Were you on a mindset, or had the change come yet? At this 6 months, you got your tag. Had the change come in your head, like, I'm going to live this clean life? Or were you still on some, ooh, I got someone who's going to pay this? Like, you were on some scamming shit?
still on some scamming stuff.
When that
yeah.
next morning you got released, you realized, was it a deal where you realized you didn't want to get high? Or, like, I guess you're about to walk me through it. As I'm like, well, walk me through it.
Like, you want me to answer? If you just listen, I'd
He's
answer
going
these
the
questions.
Montel Williams route.
I know, dude. Like, being around this dude
So
is hard.
he did this.
Yeah.
Go ahead, tell him.
Here, hey, let me ask you a question, but I'll answer it. Anyways,
Williams.
so I wow, was that hard? So I get out of jail, and like I wanted to go get my 6-month tag, and like for whatever reason, that's when like something changed. I started like, you know, I would tell my sponsor I'm praying and roll my eyes and be like, yeah, I'll do whatever you want me to do, and I wouldn't do anything. That's when I like started taking direction, and like I started praying. I came to believe in something outside myself, and you know, that really prepared me for, I guess I'll finally get to the part where I'm answering your question. You know, after working my steps and having a spiritual experience and like having this like spirit awakened in me, and like this urge to chase spirit and like get closer to God. That drive and desire really like helped prep me for, you know, last November, as a direct result of her addiction, my mother was found dead with a bottle in her hand.
Sorry to hear that.
And, you know, I initially didn't think that was going to be like too difficult to deal with. I have routinely found out that it's been very difficult to deal with. I didn't want to get on this thing and talk about anything that makes me cry. We're going to try to get through this here. Mother's Day, as you all know, was last week. It was very beautiful in that I got to celebrate with my fiance, who is now a mom. But, you know, Mother's Day and Christmas were like the 2 times I talked to my mom out of the year. And this is the first time where that's just not a thing. That's where I've had to, like, you know, really lean on my higher power. Definitely hit meetings. I have found in my experience thus far, there is nothing that God doesn't give you that you can't handle. And, you know, God will take away what you can't. And I don't know, like the ups and downs and peaks and valleys of recovery have, you know, if I sit and like kind of dwell on the harder stuff, I don't know, as of late, it's kind of hard to come up with those things. You know, 2 years ago, I could give you an hour-long speech as to what is so hard about my life. The fact of the matter is I'm clean and sober today, and statistically, I should either be dead, high, or in prison. So it's just really hard to like recall on like the struggles.
So I guess here's a good question with what you just shared. Like you shared, like you didn't think that this would be that tough. You're going through it. It's tough as shit. It's emotions. You got emotions back, and you're dealing with some stuff it deals with your feelings. This is a question that I always get, from anyone listening, and when we have guests on and we talk about loss. When you went through this, was there ever a thought of use?
No.
Never popped in your head as a solution to dealing with it?
No. Honestly, you know, the first time I used was the day my grandma died. I was 14.
That was your go-to at one point.
That was my go-to. That was my solution to everything, was getting high for most of my life. But I had never, you know, I'd made attempts at recovery. I've gotten my 30-day chip here twice and went and smoked meth in the bathroom after.
You can't do that no more
Yeah.
because they have cameras outside the bath. No, I don't know. I'm trying to make it sound like that's not an option anymore here.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you know, someone made a joke about you can't use earlier before we left to come here. Using's always an option in my book.
Yep, it is.
You know?
100%. I'm right there
And
with
like,
you.
I don't know, you know, through the hard things that have happened since I've worked the steps and like had the spiritual experience, I've found that any problem, I have someone in my network that I can reach out to. And even if none of them answer, God is always there. And prior to recovery, I didn't have God in my life at all.
Here's another spot where I'm going to say pause because this is a topic that we can dive into and talk for 2 hours about. With that, Charlie, it's all good. I know we're on him, and we're going to get back to this, but I do like cutting it up in between people because you brought up a topic when you were telling us your story about having a spiritual experience. And then you just brought up a go-to of like, hey, if the meeting fails, if my fellowship fails, if my own shit fails, I know I can go to what you have now as a God. Have you found a higher power in your recovery? And if so, how does that look today?
I have. My higher power is Jesus Christ.
Okay. How do you utilize that?
Back when I was just about to get my year, I ended up going to a church. So I actually, when I was sitting in Dakota County Jail during COVID, we would live stream church on Sundays, and it was just a way for me, you know, get out of my cell for an hour. And so I went to church, and I was sitting there, and when the lady was singing, I ended up just bawling, you know, just crying my eyes out, you know. And I wasn't ready to get clean or sober at that point, you know.
When was this? How long ago?
This was 2020.
Okay.
2020
so
during
4
COVID.
years. Okay.
During COVID times, and you know, I started crying. I was just bawling, you know, and I just realized, you know, like I need something different, you know, and you know, I get out of jail that time, and I went straight back to what I was doing, getting high, you know, and it wasn't until, you know, April 27th, that's when I went into treatment, and I got out of treatment. I ended up going to, what's it called, New Way, and yes, sir, and
Was it the 3 R's or was it did it stop? It's
Yeah,
my
it
headphones.
stopped.
Something to do with my headphones. Or it had something to do with this. Matter of fact, hang on. Did it come back?
Yeah.
It's this thing. Then something to do with this. Is it gone?
No.
It is something with this. All right, so you were at New Way.
I was at New Way. I was in St. Paul. I was living in a sober house over on the east side, and I forget which New Way it was. It was in St. Paul, though.
Okay.
I was just doing outpatient there, and I ended up completing that, and then I moved around a decent amount. I was like renting rooms off Facebook Marketplace and stuff, you know, and then ended up moving in with the girl that I was seeing, you know, and which is my fiance now and the mother of my child, and we were living at the same place, and I was like, we should go to church, you know, and let's just try it out, you know. I need something different. I wasn't going to meetings at the time. I was white knuckling, and I was like, let's go to church. So we ended up going to Hosanna in Lakeville, and I sit down, and this is the church that we were live streaming in jail, you know, and like I didn't even realize that's where I was going, you know.
Oh, you didn't?
And
It wasn't a pre, like, this is what I was, okay.
No, it was just where the closest church to us, you know, and we get in there, and then that same lady, the same whole band came out, and I just started bawling again, you know, and like I was just like, oh,
That same feeling?
the same feeling, you know, and I was probably 7 months clean at that point, and I was like, fuck, let me get baptized, you know, like let me just figure out how I can get baptized, you know, I need something different, you know, and I ended up signing up that day, and as I signed up online for it, like it asked me like why, you know, I kind of told my whole story, and and then a couple months later, it was the time to get baptized, and I ended up bringing out my fiance's whole family, my mom and my uncle, you know, and
In a way of saying it, you're all in.
I was all in,
You're all in.
yeah.
And anyone around you that was willing to listen knew you're all
yeah,
in? Okay.
yep.
Okay.
And so we get there, you know, it's a pretty big church, and they live stream to thousands and thousands of people, you know, and
Yep.
and when the pastor called my name, he read what I wrote. I didn't realize he was gonna write down. He read out
testimony?
everything, and like I'm sitting there crying my eyes out. Everyone else around me's crying. I'm looking around. Everyone's crying. Oh yeah. And right before he, right as I got in, and right before they dunked me under, he whispered in my ear. He said, "My story is your story. I'm an addict myself, and the pastor of this huge church, super successful guy, you know, and then he dunked me under and held me under for a little bit longer than everyone else, you know, and it was just, I got out.
One of those points where you try to move and he's like, wait a
He's
second.
he's like holding me down a little longer, you know, and I get out and I raise my hands, and I just start crying again, you know, and it was the best experience of my life, you know. So
I want you to dive into right there, that experience. You said like it was an experience of your life. What was that feeling? Try to paint us the best picture you can about that feeling of getting out of that water.
For my higher power, what I believe in, it was the Holy Spirit, you know, and it was just like this feeling, like I got goosebumps, and it was just I felt cleansed, you know, like all the dirt that I've done, you know, I felt like I got out of that water and it stayed in the water, you know, and I got out of that water and it was just this amazing thing. Like I have a chance to get something different, do something different, be somebody different, you know, somebody who does great things. And now I scan everything when I go to Walmart, and you know, like let's go, dude. And you know, I live a life of integrity, you know. And yes, I wanted to speak on kind of what Donnie was saying, how he went through the steps, he goes through the traditions, you know, he had this spiritual awakening. I haven't had that yet. I just completed my 4th step for the second time, so me and him actually went through it once. I did my 4th step, did my 5th step with him, and then we kind of stopped. And I
Question right there. Your 5th step. So you did do a thorough 5th step. You cleansed. You confessed.
Yes.
Was it more? I'm not trying to contradict our program because you're not leaving, are you? Okay, all right. Because Mike unfortunately will be getting up for you in a little bit here.
I'm gonna get you put my mic on mute.
Did I? Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Damn, why don't you gotta tell me when I do some half-ass shit? No, you're good then. Go ahead. Go do whatever you're.
Grab something for a spiritual awakening.
Perfect. Are you going to the big room? I was gonna say, you want to go grab us some waters too before you come back?
Oh,
Waters. Yeah, a couple bottles.
How many waters?
Grab like 4. Thanks, Chucky. Thanks, brother. He's the soap man. Wait till you hear about this dude. So now, like I said, I'm not trying to contradict a 5th step or you being baptized, but they talk about a 5th step. Now, anyone out there listening, because I know we have plenty of people listen who haven't worked steps or they're just tippy-toeing this recovery thing. A 5th step's where you confess. You get off your plate all the shit everything that's even holding you up or any problems you've had in the past, resentments, fears, all that shit. You get it off. You confess, like going to a pastor and confessing, or a father, pastor, blah, blah, blah. Can you even put those on the same level, or no? Was your baptism way up here? Like
It was because, you know, I didn't do a thorough 4-step that time.
okay.
And so
Can I say it?
Yeah, totally.
I can speak freely.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying like I could tell, but like, it felt quick and like rushed the first time we worked.
It was
together.
quick. It was quick. It was rushed, and I told him I was done, and I showed it to him. He's like, "Fuck no," and gave it back to me. He's like, "You gotta do it. You gotta do some more." And you know, I did 2 more. You know, and like, and you know, he's like, "You've only slept with 5 girls." You know, because my sex inventory. You know, I was like, "Well, I guess not." You know. But you know,
There's a sex
we're
inventory.
gonna get there. Just calm down.
don't worry about it. It's
Don't even
okay.
think about it. Don't even think about it.
Bro, this hasn't happened for you yet?
No, unfortunately,
Couple months, bro.
you know, he's.
What, you want to put this on my plate? Shit, bro.
No,
Oh,
but,
good. I'm not the only
but
sponsor.
what I wanted to say is, you know, yes, I had my spiritual awakening with my baptism, and I know I'm gonna have another one with these steps because I'm going through them thoroughly this time. And me and Donnie need to do my 5th step here soon. We are doing it next week. But I just want to say, yeah, I got 3 years.
Wait, just speak up, bro. We'll work for recovery.
I'm
Hold on.
like you, Tim.
I just want to.
I'm just
say.
No,
Yeah,
I
he
was
did
trying to
raise his
get. I was
hand.
trying to get his attention because I just want to jump in.
Yeah.
At this point right here, so like Charlie said, I've sponsored Charlie for most of our like time clean.
Yeah.
But in this last like like 2-3 months, like your attitude towards recovery and like what you need to do
Yeah.
it's a complete
From the
180.
outside looking in,
From the
you're like-
outside looking in, like Charlie like checks in with me, like he's like jamming on his steps. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like for the first 2 years of our recovery, it's if you were just like hanging with the people who were doing it, you'd do it. And I think that wore off.
Totally.
Because I've heard this, and again, I have permission to speak freely.
Yeah, of course.
I've heard this man share in meetings like, I want what these people have that I hang out with, and that's like
And that's what I was. That's
what
what I
I've
was
been waiting
Thank you,
for.
Chuck.
That's what I was getting at. I hear all my friends. They speak in meetings and they've gone through these steps. They've gone through the traditions, and the way they speak, the way that they feel, I can feel like how they're feeling, and I want that.
So it
And,
went from a convenience to a want.
right, totally.
And like for a sponsor to see, no, if you're thirsty, go ahead. You can have it. Oh, then break me off that cold ass water. Yeah, this water's good tonight.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you see, the question was basically like, because I like how you shared about your spiritual experience with the baptism and that shedding of that. That's how I felt when I did my only fifth step so far, was like this weight being lifted off my shoulders. Because it was the first time I said half the shit I ever said out loud, and to another human being, another man. You didn't have to say a fucking word. You got dipped and ripped, and it all went away. Like, you got that same
That's
feeling.
how I felt. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Spiritual awakening.
So you guys don't know about this man who just handed you that,
you,
but
Chuck.
anyone out there watching, this is right here. You can see it in your camera. So we have a special that's coming out where you're going to hear us having an interview with Chucky the Soap Man. He's going to do a blessing here pretty quick for us too. Matter of fact, and you two, hold tight. I'm going to bug Mike for a minute because I'm going to feel bad when I boot him for a minute to get Chucky in the air. So Mike,
Yeah.
you're currently working on going through the book with a sponsor.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think the last time you met with your sponsor, you guys just got through reading about one of the founders' stories, like that.
Bill's story.
That's who it was.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a guy named Bill. And it seemed like you started getting into it a little more near the end there. Like, you said you could find some similarities, or what did it do anything for your recovery?
It just gave me some enlightenment. That's a little bit. I'm at the moment where, like he was saying, like I could be around people that's doing the drugs that I was using or selling or whatever. And the only thing that keeps me going, like I said before, like my kids and the fact that I know that there is something much better. And this whole spiritual awakening thing is the only thing that has happened was the soap thing so far.
Real quick, I tried to regurgitate this story on our interview. Me and Chucky did an interview the other night for a half hour, and I haven't put it out yet. But I know you shared the story once before, but I want you to share it again because I have a follow-up question about some spirituality with you. So
All right.
tell us about this soap stuff.
Well, so, I haven't had a job. Been kind of struggling with money and like trying to go back to hustle, like not trying to, but like struggling with the thought of it.
You've been fighting not to go back
Yeah,
to
fighting
hustling.
not to go back
Because
to
you're
hustle.
more so in these rooms of recovery from an old lifestyle, more so than being a dope fiend or
Yeah.
whatever. You're talking women, dope dealing, and
Yeah.
a different lifestyle. So,
Yeah.
okay, come on.
yeah.
I'm filling some blanks for you.
And so one day I'm like, man, I'm getting low on some soap. I don't got no money. I'm just going to hop in the shower and go to a meeting. I come to a meeting. First time Chucky's here with the soap. And I'm like, what? And he's like passing out soap. I'm like, what the fuck? So, yeah.
But now let's also preface this story with, we've talked on air about your, I don't want to say religion, your spirituality.
Yeah.
Share with us where you're at with your spirituality, or where
Um,
you were at, and I don't know if it's changed. Where
Well,
you
at
where you
first, I had a lot of resentment towards God or whoever. Because I was in a church faithfully like 3 times a week when I was married, going with my kids and stuff like that. And then a series of events happened where I was just like, I don't have a relationship. So a couple years go by, and I wouldn't say I stopped believing, but it dwindled away. And then the whole soap thing happened. And then it was like, you know what? I'm going to have my kids as my higher power. And then it evolved from that.
No, I'm just Donnie's got to go back to
Yeah,
work.
that's
Apparently, he's got to go to work.
No, I don't. That is
a joke?
Shout out to the homie Will because he does, dude. Since my second week at the tattoo shop, when we had just like met each other, he texts me like 10 in the morning telling me I got a client there, dude. I freak out and like, yeah,
So it's an inside joke.
yeah, it's an
I love you,
inside
Willard.
joke. Yeah, Will is the homie for sure.
All right, I wasn't sure. I was like, bro, we might have to cut back to them so he can get going.
Yeah, no,
he might got
he's
a client
just,
there.
That's just Willard on some shit. He's always wild.
We love Willard, and Willard's the one who graciously like opened his doors for us to have this Scars and Tattoo meeting. And he
gonna
does so
talk
much
about that
other
later.
outreach. He does so much outreach for the community and like the still suffering addicts and everyone. Like this is a spot. Come check out
Iktomi
What,
Tattoo.
you think I was gonna say Iktomi again? No,
Butcher it every time, player.
Iktomi.
Iktomi.
He called me player.
Iktomi.
Iktomi Tattoos.
Also connected to the tattoo shop is Art Shelf, which is
Come on.
a pay what you can community art center for anyone to come and go and make art. The supplies are provided via donations. There's actually going to be a fundraiser held in June at Gigi's Cafe, which is not too far from the shop, where if you'd like to go and kind of help get Art Shelf up and going, I back Will's like dream and vision on this 100%. He's I don't think he's going to care if I break. He's another guy in recovery who came from kind of that street hood life and made something of himself. Like, he's doing big things I aspire to do as a man in recovery as well. And, check it out. Iktomi Tattoo and Art Shelf.
Iktomi Tattoo. That is at 1415 West 35th Street, Suite B. And like I said, that's who holds that Saturday morning meeting that we go to. And
You're the chair.
I don't advertise.
When you show up on time.
Listen, I don't advertise certain
So
fellowships.
Donnie
I
at
advertise
Iktomi.
Will Work
Okay.
Because
So-
of tradition. Remember,
What type of art do you do?
What type of art?
Yeah.
He's a tattoo artist.
He specializes in something.
We're jumping the focus back here. I like to
Yeah,
be
because
pretty
I'm like
well-rounded.
There you
hit
go.
up
Go ahead and show the
everywhere.
camera.
I'm like,
He does stuff like that.
I did that like 2 years ago. That's some in progress biomac going on. Charlie ain't got no finished work on him.
we go halfway and then we end up starting something new.
See, I'm like the guy that falls asleep on all my tattoos.
But
Like,
like
it's
you
a
got
thing.
a lot of listeners know who like Ashley K is. She just got a big leg piece done in honor of I think her father. And you do great work, and you can find his work or Willard's work on their Facebook pages or Iktomi's tattoos page.
So if I wanted a picture of my two girls on my leg, you can do it?
Do you do portraits?
I do portraits, but family members, I might. I mean, they'd have to be like super high def, like perfect pictures.
Like colored and stuff like that?
color portrait. I don't know if
You got good skin. You're not super dark.
how light are your legs. Like we can talk about it.
All right, bet.
there are a lot of questions we'd have to get answered before I could answer that.
Yeah, because
Color portrait for me, probably not. Black and gray portrait.
that's
yeah.
probably what I would want on
Yeah.
my legs. Yeah.
What black and white or
Yeah. Some black and white. Yeah.
Hey, that's the type of artist I'm gonna mess with. If someone's like, nah, like color, go someone else. Like, and you're right. You had a specialty, more so one than the other.
See?
You called it. All right, hey,
I get tattoos, man.
I get.
Well, dude, unlike back in the day, like I would just take anyone's money, in the street. But, like now, I got this thing called integrity and like a conscience, and like
You say you want a masterpiece.
I got no problem telling you like,
Masterpiece, I could do that. Isn't it?
if there's something I can't do. But I guarantee, if you check out all the artists in the shop I work in, someone can take care of you with whatever
That's
you want.
what's up. Yep. That you network or whatever the case is. So, Dad, look at that. He's talking about getting your guys' faces tattooed on him. Both of you. No, on him, not you. He's gonna put your face on his body.
Yeah, I got their hand and foot on me, and then I got their name, their initials right here.
Yeah. Look at that. That's what's up. So Mike,
Yeah.
what does your higher power look like today? Right now, right here, right now. Is it still these two little girls running around?
They're a piece of it. They're definitely a piece of it. They keep me going. My mental, connection with the higher power is on a frequency level now. So that's
You always introduce yourself as, I'm Mike and I'm fighting. You don't say I'm an addict, I'm an alcoholic. You say, I'm Mike and I'm fighting.
yeah,
Why?
because there's a lot of things that I'm fighting, and addiction is like the last one.
But it is one of them.
Yeah, it's definitely
Can
one.
I say
Come
something?
on, come on.
So what because I would refuse to say I'm an alcoholic at AA meetings. And my sponsor checked me really quick on it, in that, you know, we like, if you're at AA, you say alcoholic. If you're at NA, you say addict, for the simple fact that we're all here with the same common problem. We have this disease. And if I do things like, my name's Donnie, I'm addicted to meth and gambling, and you know, it separates me from the unity of.
Yep. I understand the idea of it too.
See,
A lot of us went through what you're talking about.
See,
though.
I don't say it as well. Well,
Robin,
I
we can
don't.
tell you some
I don't
stories.
say that part because I believe life and death is in the power of the tongue. So if you're constantly addressing that you're an addict or alcoholic, you're really putting that on you at all
Donnie,
times.
where were you at 3 months
At 3 months,
with your thought process on things?
I was dating a tech from the inpatient treatment center. Actually. What's up?
What I'm saying is,
yeah, I was
we
not
evolved-
like.
we evolved with our thinking. Like, you didn't walk in and we had 2 months, 3 months, and get this whole singleness of purpose or a clean message, or like, I know for a fact, like with you and Brett, even, like, there's certain points that we're so ingrained in us to hear the word sober in an NA meeting and just be like, "Arr." We got this dude from Arkansas. We mess with him, call him the NA Nazi, because like he
Man,
does.
that's rude as hell.
Walk into one of his meetings and say sober. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You'll say sober in the middle of an NA meeting, and he'll stop and correct you during the middle of a share.
Yeah,
But it's
I
out of
mean,
his kindness, but
I
know
get
what I'm saying.
I get with, like, like where my first sponsor was at with that, but also like, dude, they're here. Like,
I get-
anyone
I
who's
get
here,
it. I
don't
get it.
care if you introduce yourself as fucking Willy Wonka. Like, if you're
I
here
get
and
it.
you think you got a problem and like this is your path to finding the solution, you introduce yourself.
You
as
weren't-
fucking
yeah,
Bin
you-
Laden,
you
bro. I
sit in
care.
here-
Like-
sit in here on a Friday night and hear 100 people introduce themselves. It's very rarely that you'll hear, I am so-and-so an alcoholic, or I'm so-and-so an addict. You hear all sorts of cool shit.
Real
Yeah.
quick,
I
like-
just heard I'm a rainbow.
Yeah. My name is so-and-so and I'm a rainbow. Okay.
It's like, whoa.
Hell yeah, I'm
yeah.
a cat.
He said, hell yeah. He looks like.
Dude, my recovery got so much easier when I only worried about mine.
There you go.
Yeah.
Fuck
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Case in point.
Yeah.
Bah.
You only got to worry about yourself,
Yeah.
and
Alright.
that's it.
So Mike,
Well, and my sponsees, they will never introduce themselves as cats or rainbows. But
You will
So-
get checked.
Mike, I think we talked about this too just the other day, but with your higher power situation, like, are you still willing to have it grow?
Of course.
That's it. That's all we
Yeah.
ask.
Yeah.
Like, hey, there's still this willingness. Like, you'd say you have a willingness.
Yeah. Because I'm doing a lot of research, man. If everybody can go ahead and look up Billy Carson.
Who the fuck? Or who's Billy Carson?
Billy Carson is a man that he's done so much research on the whole religion thing. Yeah, and he takes it back to like the Emerald Tablets, and he lets people know where all the religions came from and who they came from.
You know how much easier it been just to like research the Bible instead? No, I'm joking.
wow.
Yeah, but you wouldn't get the full text.
I know.
man.
I don't remember how I came to this conclusion. Of, I don't need to know. Like, what feels good for me is like I can give it.
It
over
makes
to
me
something else.
feel better because
Then there you
reading
go.
the Bible makes me have so many questions, man. It makes me have so many unanswered questions, and the history of the Bible and the King James, and if people know who King James is, it makes me question so much.
Jalissa, we love you. Thank you for being open, and thanks for saying there is no excuses. That's right. We get to, like Donnie said, we worry about our own recovery and our own journeys. Second I start worrying about yours, I better go buy a mirror.
Yeah,
It's that easy for me. I learned. It took me a few years to learn that.
you need to
though.
buy one anyway. You need to start looking at.
You're gonna say something about my beard again.
You read?
So, Mike, with that said, any superpowers you'd like to have?
What's that one in Men in Black where dude can like take all the situations that could happen?
Men in Black.
Yeah, I think it's like 2 or 3 where this dude, he's
Retcon?
so smart. He's so smart that he can like take all the situations that and how it could happen.
Man, I just know Rick and Morty, and I know like retcon. He could always say whatever it was. This always was this. He's about to come on and tell us.
Yeah, so that would be my superpower, man.
Mike, I'm going to ask you not to leave, but if you do what you want. But before you get up, please tell me about your gratitude. Chucky, you're up next.
I'm grateful for looking forward to having a job. I'm grateful for my kids and our situation of being together and getting full custody of my kids to myself. And I'm grateful for being sober, man.
Clean. No, I'm joking. I love you, Mike. Hang out for a while
Love you
because
too, bro.
I don't know how long they're trying to hang out, but you don't go far.
All right.
So next we're gonna bring on, you guys know him, the Hope Man, Chucky, and before he comes on, where's yeah. All right. So you guys are gonna be graced with this interview that I did with him, and he's gonna bless the room before he gets on the show. And if you ever come down here, you'll get to hear it. He has a kuda horn. You guys are gonna love this.
I saw it.
Yeah. He's gonna play the kuda horn and bless us with a Hebrew prayer. Oh, I fucking love it, dude.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, no, it's something else. I feel something when I hear it. But anyone out there under the sound of this, like, just enjoy what's coming.
And just so you know, baby and the fiance are out of town, so I ain't
we all
got
gonna-
nowhere to be.
All right, no, I was just saying that to make him feel better because I feel bad every time I boot him. He always tries to take it to a race thing. He's like, because I'm black. He always does. He always wants to fuck with me on that. So the thing.
Hold on real quick. I just use gambling as an example, Lisa.
Jalissa?
No.
Lisa.
Lisa.
Oh, I'm not here gambling?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
She's needling me.
Proud of you, Mike, for being a great. You know, everyone checking in and comments, Jacob, everybody, I appreciate you. You know, we love the support. And if there are questions for any of our guests, please post them on there or send me. Thank you, Jalissa, and everyone else who is sending me questions directly. We appreciate it. Tony, sorry I wasn't able to answer your phone call. Apparently, I'm on a podcast right now, and you knew that. So, yeah, you know what? On a side note, remind me to tell you about some situations Rob and I have had about singleness of purpose and clean message and NA Nazis and what have you. Are you out of here, P?
I'm gonna lock up
Okay.
the center.
Yeah, I'll take care of this. All right. Chucky.
You know what's crazy is like I remember going to meetings still high, but that dude's story, like it's never not been in my mind
His
since I heard
vision,
him say
his
it.
motorcycle, bro.
No, I heard him share at SNL once. Like,
Oh, wait, when he put on his fake tie, he's at the end. Did he do the
no,
tie?
I
thing?
think he has relatively the same outfit.
He
on.
does, but at the end, he's like, that's his little his joke at the very end. He'll pull out a clip-on tie. He's like, I was always told I'm supposed to wear a tie when I speak, so here you go, and he puts on a clip-on.
That must be like a new thing in the last 3 years or something, because I have never seen that.
When did it? That was pre-COVID. Who knows? Chucky,
Yeah.
look at ballin', selling that dope. I meant soap. All right, so
Breaking Bad with soap.
Up
Hell yeah.
next, we got, I don't know about these two. They're kind of mean. Maybe I'll just say, all right, so, Chucky, this young man who you guys are seeing right now on the camera is the one you guys will be hearing the interview throughout the next few weeks about his story and about his vision and what's going to be coming down the pipeline, especially at the new location with the soap factory. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Chucky.
Welcome, Chuck. I do a lot of his talking for him because
Because you're Tim.
No.
Dude, I'm going to Tim you for a day and see how you...
I know. I already know. I cut off. I do nasty shit. Not purpose, though. Chucky, could you
Once you
please
make it
bless
weird.
us with the kuda horn and with Hebrew's prayer?
Yes. First, we'll open up the heavens to get God's attention. Not that he doesn't already have our. I mean, he it's just that when he hears this, he leans in and he smiles. That's what I've been told. throughout the years that this is his instrument of choice, and it's to help bring supernatural protection and blessings. It's a calling to assembly. It's got like a million different things that it's used for, but it's for right now. It's for a supernatural blessing and to get God's attention.
All right, here it comes, boys. Get ready.
And then this is the blessing that follows. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmarecha Ya'er Adonai pinav alecha v'chunecha Yaseh Adonai pinav alecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he shine his face upon you and be gracious to you. And may he turn his face towards you and give you supernatural peace and protection. In Jesus' precious name, I pray. Amen.
You've all been blessed with Chucky's kudu horn and his prayer, and turn that back off.
And that prayer is straight from God to everyone who hears it. That prayer is in the Bible.
Yes, and we appreciate you gracing us with it. As always, Chucky, thank you.
Thank you.
So we're going to not spend a lot of time on it, but we are going to enlighten these boys and our listeners to your vision, as we haven't put out our interview yet. So it's coming. Tell us about your vision. What was the vision you had?
My vision is that I want to be able to provide jobs and housing for people getting out of prison to the point where, I mean, we're not there yet, but my hope is to be able to go into the prisons and give somebody something to look forward to when they get out, and that would be to get picked up at the prison in a limousine and take them to the soap factory to their new home.
Right. No, and you know what? Got to have visions. Like, and you shared this vision with Paul, and Paul's a man who had a vision of this place. And when you brought that vision to him, like, you guys bonded instantly, and that's why instantly he gave you a back room where now you have two. Don't you have two stations?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two
So you went from 20 years of a single station within a month. Now you've got two stations. The plan is to be up to about 20 stations, right?
That would be great.
And at the new building, we're building you a soap studio.
Yeah.
The So Hope Man. I don't want to rip one of these off. Can I see yours real quick? So this here is the packaging you'll get your soap in. And let's just do this. Here, I have them on my computer. I don't with switching the camera. They're stamped with the armor of Yah. That's the soap. It's the armor of Yah soap, Yahweh.
You're literally spreading the word of God when you're washing.
So
and
explain to
bathing.
these boys what goes into making it. You don't have to get super detailed, but talk about how they're prayered into. Talk about that kind of process and explain the power of this.
The prayer that I just did is the blessing. The prayer that I did in Hebrew is the blessing that you see on the underneath the ingredients of the soap, and that's the blessing that goes into the soap in hopes that whoever uses it will receive the blessing, and the main ingredient is love, but other than that, it's got coconut oil and olive oil and lye and cinnamon and oatmeal and it's all natural. Everything's like out of the kitchen, and then it's got the Word of God stamped on it
And into it.
So
I'm gonna hijack you sharing about
Please,
this real quick.
please, yeah.
So Chucky has a ton of different videos of him making the soap and having people come in there and help make it. But the cool process that I think like I'm somehow gonna incorporate it into this, and it's cool because he's made me some personal commercials for the show where he'll talk about the soap, and then at the end he's like, "Now back to the podcast," and I love it. But while he's making the soap, there's like 7 steps into it, and on each step he'll pour the ingredients, and then he says a prayer into it. Pours another ingredient, says a prayer into it. And so this soap is literally prayed into, then prayed over. Like, it's powerful, and it comes from a man with a strong belief. So like I can get behind that, and I know the center does, as you see. So if I wanted some soap, how do I obtain some?
I would just get a hold of Paul or Tim. If you're listening to this on YouTube, I would just get a hold of Tim, and if anyone makes any donations towards the show, we can use that to go towards.
So here's the thing: is you can come down and purchase some soap. You can reach out to me or the center. Reach out to us on the social media platforms, whatever the case is. I'm going to steal your thunder on this. If you don't have any money, come on down and grab a bar of soap. Yeah. Otherwise, put in 50 cents, put in $1, put in a dub, put in $1,000, whatever you have. And that's how Chuck lives this whole life of this soap thing is whatever you have. If you got something, I'm not talking about, no. What I'm saying is like anyone who wants to come be part of this or come get some, that's how it works. He set out a big ass jug with like 50 bars up there, and it sat there for like a week and a half till it was all gone. You put a bucket next to it. No one's policing it. So if you need a bar, come grab a bar, man. And that was the other thing I kept forgetting to ask Mike. He gets bad eczema, and he uses it on his face, and he's been wolfing it up like, my eczema's gone. And this is where I kick him in the shin every time. Like, so you tell me one day you were out of money, you had no soap. The next day, some dude comes in talking about, I pray into the soap, and here's some soap. And now your eczema's gone, and you got soap. And you have a problem with higher power,
Honor
bleed?
God.
Hey. That's what I'm saying. He's still, that's like I'm saying, he's at 3 months and I'm fighting. I give him shit all the time. So real quick, we're going to do ship it to me or come get me. I love you, Jalissa. So here we go. We're going to do a real quick commercial, and then we're going to get back to some regular podcast stuff.
Sometimes people are like, no, Chucky, how much is the soap? I want to know how much it is. And I tell them, I tell everybody the same thing. I say, give what you can. If you got nothing, it's my gift to you. I would rather make sure, I don't want to deny anybody of the blessing that comes with it.
And I'll say what you guys all have trouble saying, but it's not free. This shit's not free. Your time's not free. The materials you use, the crock pots and the spinners and the lye and the dope and the All right. So here we go. Here's one of Chucky's.
Soap so good, huh?
It's that type. Here goes one of the commercials from our man Chucky for the show.
Will Work for Recovery presents Attitude for Gratitude podcast every Friday, 8 o'clock. New faces, great voices, life happen stories, and connections. Be a part of our community and share with us what you're super. Hero powers are in share.
Oh, I turned it. Sorry. Seize the moment. Step up and, man.
I know that happens to me all the time.
Man, that's garbage, guys. And I was super excited. All right, we'll try this one instead. He sends me a lot.
And now a message from Will Work for Recovery. I Am That I Am Soapstone Factory and Will Work for Recovery is excited to get the Soap of Hope Armor of Yah into your hands as a gift from our community to you that says thank you for your support and donations. Our soapstone does more than take down giants in people's lives that make and use it. It also kills germs. Put on the full armor of Yah and be uplifted, refreshed, and receive a blessing straight from God to you that says you matter. Wash, rinse, repeat. Now back to the podcast.
Yeah. And that's me and Mr. Ego. Now back to the podcast. Oh, I got to unmute everybody. I got selfish on that. So, Chucky, I appreciate you doing that, like big time.
I appreciate you.
And I know this is just part of your journey. Like, this is what you do in your pastime. This is what you do.
I mean, I'd even be happy if I just came in every day and made 2 batches and just gave it away.
I know you would.
Yeah.
If you could afford to do it, I know you would. I know how you are. So, boys, back to our regularly scheduled program. What do you tell someone who's struggling? Someone comes to you, Donnie, man, I want to use. I want to use. I've been doing this recovery. What do you do when Charlie comes to you and says, I want to use?
I mean, and this is completely plagiarized, but like I got like a bunch of money in my pocket. If you can tell me, like if you can convince me of a good reason to go use, I'll fucking buy. Frickin', can we swear in here? I don't know.
Yeah,
I've been.
It's plagiarized, and I've plagiarized it. I've been saying that to people from the second I heard it, because it is. It's the best. Man, I've buried my brother. I've watched people OD in front of me. I've seen murders, suicides. I've seen the things that I would have told you I definitely would have used over before walking in these rooms, and I've seen it happen. I never thought to use. It wasn't, for me, it wasn't a good enough reason. So I still stand. Anyone out there listening, you give me a good enough reason, I'm buying.
Absolutely.
Jay-Z and she said she want to get rid of the ball coat.
Say again.
Beyonce sick of Jay-Z and she said she want to get rid of the ball coat.
And all I need to do is what? Smoke a joint? Well, then, you know what? I'm buying. There's never going to be a good enough reason so far that I've found. I'm not saying there's not, but so that's your go-to is like, look, man, let's talk. And I love it because what that does is you open up a conversation.
Well, my main thing, like, is, okay, if you're giving this recovery thing a shot, like, I personally like to know what is the worst part. That what was so bad? What was your gift of desperation that made you think maybe all of these people that keep coming to these meetings and like can put years together and like are happy, joyous, and free, maybe what they're doing might work. Because I spent, you know, like I said earlier, I've gotten high in this building. I'm collecting clean time. I wasn't ready. It hadn't gotten bad enough. And I'd seen, you know, I've had guns put to my head. I've seen murders. I was very violent when I was using when I was younger. You know, none of that really prepared me for it. Like, you know, I truly believe God had to, or the creator or whatever you want to call it, had to put me in the streets for years, thinking I could think my way out of it, when in reality all I had to do was just surrender to this disease and take direction from other people. And like, I had to learn a new way of thinking, because I spent a majority of my life in the driver's seat. And you know, when I'm thinking running on self-will and want, like, I will convince myself why that is the perfect chair to smoke a meth bong in. Like, if I'm living like via Donnie's will, like I can tell you 100 reasons why this is a bad situation, why it's everyone else's fault but my own.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I would use, I've got high in jail, which 10 out of 10 don't recommend. I got
spinning out in a cell.
Right, dude, and like, dude, I was just like, I was feeling good. I was in Hennepin County, and I just made trustee, and it's sure as shit, a new guy gets brought in, and I'm handing out trays, and he's like, "You want some dope?" Dude, I am in jail because of my like choices while I'm using, and there wasn't even a thought of like, maybe that's a bad idea. I was like, fuck yeah, I want some dope. Like, I went in my room, snorted meth, just gross, and just sat. You think jail sucks sober? Go.
I get it. I've been there.
Rip a fat line in a 6x8 and tell me how miserable it is. Like, dude, and even still, I got out of that jail and got high immediately.
Immediately.
They say cunning, baffling, and powerful.
Yep.
Yeah.
In one of these fellowships, they really talk about that, and like that's a great example what you just said. And it's the truth, man. This shit is. It's what it is. It's a disease. What's your take on that word of it being called a disease?
100% agree.
Okay.
I think that
Nope. I've got to follow up with that. All right. You know what? Let's stick with you and this. 100% agree. It's a disease. Do you put it on the same level as a disease like cancer?
I feel like you're just
I
putting me
am.
into a corner.
I am.
People are gonna
I put it this. I guess
jump.
what I'm doing is
Like,
I'm asking it the wrong way. It's
I
because
think-
there's a cure for our disease,
right.
a guaranteed working cure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cancer, there's not a guaranteed working cure.
Correct.
How are they both called diseases then?
ADHD is a disease too, technically, isn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm
You
got
got to remember, I'm devil's advocate and a host who is supposed to do
I
this
wouldn't
dumb
say
shit.
I wouldn't say there's a cure for this, but there's some just like ADHD. They have meds to help you be like a flat line. We have meetings. So that's how I feel about it.
I think, yeah, like it's a disease. I mean, it's not on board with like, yeah, it's a 100% agree it's a disease,
Yep.
but like, yeah, it's not cancer. Like, if left untreated, I think this disease, no matter what,
Will take you out
will
like
kill
cancer.
you.
Yep.
Much like cancer.
Yep.
But there is the thing with this disease is it's not a, I can't go to the doctor, I can't go to one meeting and fucking live a life of recovery. Like, I gotta.
Right. This is a lifelong deal. The reason I even bring this up is a month or two ago, an ER doctor who is, a family member's, an ER doctor came to me and tried to corner me on that. He's like, Tim, do you see addiction as a disease? I'm like, yep. He's like, well, what about cancer? I'm like, yeah, that's a disease too. And I cut him out before it. I said, I get it though. I have a choice to cure my disease. And that's, you know what, we're talking like apples, or to me it's like pitter patter. It doesn't matter. You're talking semantics, and okay, it doesn't matter really. Doesn't matter. I got this disease, and it's something that I can work on curing or not. I went somewhere else. I didn't want to go on that.
Right, and I truly believe why I identify with, I'm going to talk about. So we try to keep it just will work here, right? Not specific fellowships or what?
Hell
Just
no,
whatever?
it's up to you. You guys are.
Right.
You can talk about
Okay.
meetings you like.
In the
you can talk-
Liquid Fellowship, okay, the Book of Alcoholics Anonymous was written in what, 1939?
39, baby.
Bill and I don't have much in common.
No.
But here's one thing, like going through that book with several sponsors, I can identify with this ism and where Bill will get a little bit of good going and then fucking burn it to the ground. And he'll do it repeatedly until he's, standing on that edge, like debating jumping, like as it's put so eloquently in the book. I butchered the shit out of it, but
No,
like
you got the gist of it.
yeah, it's
Totally.
and I came into, I only started going to the AA to chase a girl. Yeah, odd or God. Because I'm such a stubborn dude who will only do the bare minimum to appease the outside world, but still live in self-will. The Creator had to lead me into a meeting. Me just chasing tail. I got to be mindful. There's children in here.
Pussy.
What? That's what led me to my first AA meeting, where I saw this dude tell this crazy story about him doing a bunch of drugs, and I was like, wow, that's if this dude has been sober for 7 years, he might know something I don't. And I finally had to humble myself, and I don't know, that was one of the hardest parts for me personally in early recovery, was asking someone to sponsor me, because my childhood consisted of a lot of abuse in several forms from my father and stepfather. To this day, I have a hard time trusting. In the last year and a half, it's not as difficult.
Trusting another man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or even telling another man I love you.
Yep.
Love you, Donnie.
I love you too.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're eating a damn chet. You still are.
I love you too. Sorry about my.
I muted you.
And that's
I heard you crunching on those sides, crump. Mute.
I just thought about that too.
It's
I
all
was
good.
like,
Don't
dude.
worry.
That's just the beauty about the recovery. This. I wouldn't call it a cure. It's a cure that requires work.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
It's a cure that requires work. Go ahead.
Recovery has shown me that Oh, he's gonna cry. Recovery has shown me that, like, you know, it's just meth was never my problem. I am.
Thank you.
Like,
Yes.
it isn't like, you know, you can like take all your narcotics, drinks, whatever, throw a fucking dart at it. None of that matters. I'm the issue. If left to my own devices, you know, people say my best thinking got me into this chair at meetings, which I think is total bullshit. I think God or the Creator put you in the chair in the meetings.
Hang on. When did now this? I've had this asked twice now, and there's both times I forgot to stop you guys and ask you, but on this one I'm gonna. When did that occur though? Like, was it when you had your spiritual experience or your spiritual awakening? When did it occur that you realized, oh, it was God that got me in these rooms, not my best thinking? Was there a time that changed, that thought process, or was there just a time where you start recognizing that was the situation?
You know, my first real experience with like actually being willing to pray to the Creator, you know, happened, like I mentioned earlier, when I got out of jail, 6 months sober, and went and got my tag. When it truly became like, you know, the Creator is the answer to any of my problems is when I like continual daily prayer and meditation. Any issue that I've had in the last year and a half that I've given to the Creator has been solved. I prayed to be a good father, and then Casey got pregnant. I can't keep going. I'm going to cry.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with
like,
you, dude. I'm right there with you.
You know, like,
ooh.
And like the feeling I got, you know, when Casey was giving birth to our daughter, like holding her leg up and then like catching our daughter and like cutting the cord. Dude, 3 years ago, I was homeless with no one. Like,
that baby is the closest to God that you'll ever be in this human world.
100%. Like,
Amen.
and that's like, you know, if that's not like, if that doesn't explain what recovery can do for you in a nutshell, I don't know what else was. Like, I was a degenerate to society. All I did was take and hurt from everyone, and I had nothing. Today, I'm not gonna take all my like hard work out of it. I've busted my ass for sure, but I've leaned heavy on the Creator, and you know, where I'm at today, I don't really have to worry. Like, you know, in the first year of treatment, it was like, God, I'm gonna go to jail again, or like, how am I gonna? You know, it was all financials, yada yada yada.
Right.
If whatever I worried about, if I gave it to the Creator, it went away. You know, 6 months ago, I was working in a tattoo shop and low-key hating going to work. Anyone that knows me knows that that's crazy. Tattooing is like, I live and breathe tattooing. It's my like passion. It's what helps keep me clean. Ask the Creator to help me get through it, and then brother in recovery introduced Willard and I, and
See how that works?
you know, before I even started, Addict told me, like, I remember going to meet him. He was, it was just him in the shop, and he was tattooing, and we had like a 10-minute conversation. I walked out of that with, you know, putting down a deposit on a station there, and God, it was like one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. Like, you know, I work in the shop with people, like, working with a desire to build each other up.
Right.
Much like the recovery community, like, you know, and furthermore, like, even when I'm not working, like, the people that I keep in my life, like, you gotta fucking have a dream. There's gotta be something you're working towards. Like, everything about this, that was so beautiful, and like, you're a good man. Like,
Thank you.
having a drive, and like, your drive is not to be a millionaire, it's to help people. Like, fuck, I wish I was that selfless. Like, like, you know, where I'm at now, I want to, like, yeah, everything I do is for my daughter and my family, for sure. But also, like, you know, people early in recovery, I try, like, to, you know, go out to fellowship, pay for their meal, because that's where I was. And, you know, this paying it forward thing is really fucking beautiful when you really get down to the nitty gritty. Like, I'm just so unbelievably grateful for like the life that I have right now.
We appreciate everyone who's checking in and everyone who's supporting the show right now. Your Dustins and your Taras and Lisas and baby mamas and everyone out there.
Shout out to Lisa.
Shout out.
And Tara.
And Tara. Hey, wait, someone else posted something too here. There, that's to gas you both up.
Dude, can you spell my fucking name right, please?
That was a link.
Chat means
that was your name link on Facebook.
Right. Well, you forgot to space on the is player.
Oh, I don't care.
Chat means.
Yeah,
Donnie is an amazing father.
Yeah.
From watching him,
share.
just hearing him share, but personally watching him when that baby was born until now, what he's done for his family, what he does for them, like he is one of the best fathers that I know. And one of my best friends. So yeah, he is an amazing father.
Charlie. Tara. She gets mad when you say it backwards.
Yeah, she hates it when you call
Maybe
her
she
Tara.
could show up and call me on it.
Yeah, she could.
Yeah, I know. I'm just being an asshole. So here's the thing: is talking about a psychic change, talking about higher power, spiritual experiences. Charlie, when was it in your recovery journey? And I don't know. It was only Donnie who shared about it, but that you realized that the drugs and alcohol were a symptom. Has that ever occurred that it was you?
Totally.
All right. Do you know when that occurred? I was going to ask you because someone texted me right when you were saying that and saying, ask them when that happened. Because I think a lot of people out there who aren't in the rooms, they look for that quick fix.
You know,
They're like,
I can answer that after him.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that I think I heard it in a meeting one time. I'm a person to sit and I listen. Especially to the people who have 10 years, who have 20 years. I sit and I listen. And one person said, like, the drugs and alcohol weren't the problem. It's me, and I sat and I had to think about that for a long time. And, I couldn't put a pin on exactly when that happened, but maybe it was at Lakers and over in Prior Lake, and
when you came out that water.
Yeah, but it was a guy, he had like 50 plus years, and
bye, Jack. Sorry about that, Charlie.
You're good. Sorry. But and I sat and I thought about it for a long time, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
I mean, it is me. I'm the issue, like it's not the drugs, it's not the alcohol, it's me and my way of thinking. If I don't change my way of thinking, then.
So it was another person who planted the seed
Totally.
that got you to think about it.
Totally.
I bring this up also because we had the question, and I always think about me. I had this thing where, like, I always just heard him say, like, drugs and alcohol were but a symptom. And to me, I was just like, what the fuck ever. If I wasn't doing heroin, there wouldn't be a problem. Here's when it made sense for me. Is some old timer was like, Tim, what was making the decision to do the heroin? I was like, me. Okay. And it all just like, for some reason, the way he worded it, I was like, oh, yeah, it's the brain, my brain, that chose to keep shoving a needle in my arm, playing doctor, doing blah. It was me, not the drugs and alcohol. Yep. Sure, I got problems from those, but what was making the choice that... Go ahead, Donnie.
I'm answering that question.
Now you're answering. Remember, you were like, I'll answer on that. I was asking him about, the
when
time.
The shift happened?
Yeah, the shift. Because at one point, you were dating the tech at your treatment center. That's part of this same recovery, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, just making sure it wasn't always all up top.
No, because, whatever, I brought it up. Like, yeah, like, if I couldn't get high, like, it's that same, dude, and that's where, like, much like Charlie said, like, and I said earlier, meth's never my problem. And now we put me in a situation where meth isn't really an option. Okay, what is next? All right, well, if she can fix me, then I'm fine.
Okay, I see where you're going. I see where you're going with this.
Yeah. She was my dope for a better part of my first year of recovery. And, it was not a very healthy thing, but I'm very grateful for what had happened. It made me realize, like, that I wanted to be a father. And, here we are. Yeah, I remember vividly when I first really hit that, like, meth was never my issue, and it was during my first fifth step with my first sponsor. you know, and he kind of like he's rather aggressive in his tactics. But you know, he said that, you know, something I struggled with most in my life is self-pity, and like getting really like I fucking hated hearing that, because like, you know, if I'm not living in self-pity, I don't have an excuse to be a piece of shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If I take a shred of responsibility, then I have to stop being a fucking scumbag.
Right.
And like, I didn't want to do that. I wasn't ready.
No.
And like, man, that first fifth step, like, dude, it fucking leveled me. People talk about this like, oh, I feel great. Oh, I'm so much better. Dude, I felt like a fucking dirtball after my first one. I was like, oh my God.
Just because you said all that dirt out loud and brought it back up?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I really looked at 33 years of fucking chaos, dude, I had to put. I hope she ain't listening. Like, dude, whatever. She knows. Like, dude, I had to put women on my sex inventories, names I didn't even know. Like,
Right, I get
what a fucking scumbag.
Right,
Like,
right.
That
dude.
girl from
There
over
was this
there.
one girl.
Yeah,
the
I
one
literally
girl-
had girl from RCCS, which is a fucking treatment center right down the road where it used to be. Dude, and
the one right by the exit of the highway.
dude, we left that treatment center together. I don't even know her name. Like, and that was just like the level of scumbaggery. It has no. There's a fucking trap door at every rock bottom on that.
Yes.
And it ain't. Crystal meth helps me be a scumbag for sure, but it isn't the reason I'm a scumbag. The reason I'm a scumbag is because I leave a higher power out of my life and run on self-will. When I do that, it doesn't matter. Whatever you throw at me, I will fucking ruin it.
Right.
And I will
Self-will
hurt
run
everyone
riot.
around me.
Yeah.
And I'll make you think it's your fault.
It's your fault. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're good at that. We're master
Yeah,
manipulators.
master manipulators.
Chucky,
Yeah.
we love you and your soap,
Thank you. I love you guys too.
and we love your vision, man.
Thank you.
And I love hearing your voice on here.
Thank
And I muted you because I heard you eat more chips, so you're good. Just whenever you want, I got you. I'll mute you up.
you. Thank you for the treat, by the way. It's very delicious. Thank you.
Listen, Jalissa, you already know how I feel about you, and I'm grateful that you check in every week and you support this show and the things that you share with us, and like you sharing with me some of the things you've texted me, like, hey, listen, you keep your head up, you keep doing this next right thing, showing up and sharing this shit. Like, thank you. And I like that. No homo. It's okay if it is. All right. So, yes, we got a lot of people checking in, and we appreciate everyone. If there's any questions or anything you want us to like revisit or
Dusty.
go back over, just let me know. Message me directly or put it on here. As always, like, if you're out there struggling, please reach out. You're worth this life of recovery. You're worth this happiness you're hearing us talk about. It didn't all come overnight. You hear people talking about 6 months in, 10 months in, having a spiritual experience. But the key thing you're hearing is, like, they gave it a shot. They kept trying. Like, that's the key to this. Donnie, what is the importance of having sponsorship?
The importance?
Yeah. Is it? Do you need a sponsor?
Oh my God. Look, if you look in the mirror and see your sponsor's an idiot. And this, you know, like I said earlier, it was a tough thing. When I hear people like, you got to ask another dude to like take you through these steps and like show you how to live right. I'm like, the only men I've ever trusted in my life hurt me the most.
Right. And you shared about that night. That's got to be a hard thing for you to overcome to a point of asking another man for help.
It was really like the first like big hurdle. And you know what like really opened me to the idea of trusting other men in whatever fellowship is I had to like, you know, in early recovery, I really had to hear like that they were just like degenerate scumbags like I was. That's what, like,
Right.
if I can hear how much of a piece of shit you were to what you're doing now, like, yeah, I want to know how to do that. And, you know, I thankfully was able to realize maybe I don't know all the answers to stuff, which is tough for me to say because I spent the majority of my life, you know,
Having
running
to.
the show.
You had to.
Yeah.
Not had to. But I think a lot of that's part of a step one of like, finally, to me, I always used to compare it to saying, I give up.
Well, dude, I've
up.
never, since 14, I've never had an issue admitting I was an addict.
Yeah,
Now,
but
tell me that my life is unmanageable, I'll fucking argue with you till
All right, okay,
so
the other side of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Charlie, what's the importance of having a sponsor? With him sitting here, what's the importance? What made you finally be like, I got to get a sponsor to, let me say this statement first. Sponsoring someone when you haven't been through the steps is like drawing a roadmap to somewhere you haven't been.
Is that a thing? That's crazy.
Oh, yes.
Totally.
Oh, yes. We started a meeting called Phoenix NA once over at 2218, and we lacked membership, and we would, I'm not breaking anonymity, but there were multiple people who had worked steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, and we were in a Narcotics Anonymous meeting, and multiple people raised their hands, in particular this one lady, and she picked up sponsees. And I had a conversation with her about it, and it was someone else who gave me that little gem of how is she gonna draw them a roadmap to somewhere she hasn't been. You could kill somebody.
So
Come
I have my first sponsor. He took me through AA.
Okay.
And then we would go to NA meetings because all my homies went to NA, and he was like, "This place is nuts." Then we did my 5th step, and he was like, "Start raising your hand." I was like, "In AA?" He's like, "In all the meetings." But he was like, "You need to preface that you're doing AA steps with them."
Yeah,
But that was before I became biceptual. Like I've done the steps in NA and AA. I've worked the traditions. Like,
No, I like that. I do. And I understand the one side of it where, like, yeah, I'm just trying to help, and, like, I want someone to get what I got. But there's this point of, like, sometimes you could kill someone with the wrong answers.
oh, remember last Saturday? Not everything said in an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting is related to Alcoholics Anonymous.
Oh, yes.
And if people with no knowledge of the program start spitting Mark Twain shit because they've spent 3 days sober, and someone listens to that, they might kill them.
And you know what? Like, listen, I understand when there's passion involved, and I understand when someone thinks they're just trying to help. And it took me it took me into year 2 before I understood a clean, clear message. To me,
Same.
I argued it with someone like, fuck you, I'm here. Like, I'm here. I'm not out shooting dope. I'm trying to help. I'm cleaning up this and that. And it wasn't until someone really explained to me, like, listen, a clear message. Someone who's never been in this room comes in. Let's just use taking a picture in a meeting. I'm like, what the fuck does that matter? Who cares? They're not, you can only see their elbow. If it's an addict's first time walking into a meeting, I'm just using this example because it's an easy one. Someone's first time, like, I've been shooting dope. I heard NA could help. I'm going to go to this meeting, and then out the corner of the eye, they see someone taking a picture in the meeting, and they say, fuck that. They're taking my pictures?
100%.
And I'm never coming back. They go out and shoot dope and die. You might not think so, but I've heard people say, like, you not saying a clean message could kill someone. I'm like, fuck, it could. It can.
Have you worked the traditions yet in any fellowship?
Yeah,
Dude.
in AA.
Okay.
Dude, I'm a heroin junkie who did Alcoholics Anonymous. That's what got me clean.
Right, like Alcoholics Anonymous, like really is where I like for initially identified, like where I have like like that book there is like really where it helped.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what got me to that.
I was like,
yes.
I identify with all of this. It doesn't matter that I don't drink.
Yeah.
My
I didn't drink either.
yeah,
I
like
shot dope,
but like
and
it's in
Alcoholics
here.
Anonymous, yes, it is.
There's an answer in here, and
Yep.
there's an answer in the other book. One of the most important things I think I remember hearing is everyone has a message, and then there is the message.
Yes.
There is a difference. And early on, like first year sober, I was like, yeah, I'll share my story wherever. And I would talk 45 minutes about gang shit and like dealing drugs and going to jail and like all this war story shit, and then end it with then I had to sleep outside in the dead of winter, just nonsense.
Right.
But
we think, I don't know. I know early recovery. That's all I had to share.
Right, and that's
I didn't
that's
have
exactly
didn't
that's all I
have
had.
Yes,
dude.
and I love hearing my own voice.
Yeah.
And I knew when I'd get clean time, you motherfuckers had to listen to me. Fortunately, I went to some meetings where guys would yell at me, "Time to get sober, Tim," during my story. They'd be like, Tim,
Dude, that's fucking awesome.
5 minutes in. My men's meeting I still go to on Thursday nights. If you go longer than 5 minutes with using shit, they will, Tim, time to get sober.
Yeah,
I heard that enough.
my first year, I remember going to this meeting out in Elk River with my first sponsor where I wasn't allowed to talk because I didn't have a year yet.
Yeah. Hey, it used to be 2 years. The old timers was you get a card.
Yeah,
Like,
some things change that shouldn't.
Yeah.
All right?
So, Charlie, back to the question we started asking you and then punked out on you. What's the importance of having a sponsor or getting one? For you.
Yeah, so so I mean,
He's like, I don't care. I know you guys are going to interrupt me again.
anyone who knows me, you know, I eat all the time. I'm always eating. But try to go through the steps by yourself and answer all the questions yourself, you know, see how far you get. The importance is to have somebody walk you through it, you know. You don't have to love them, you know. You don't have to. I love Donnie, but you don't have to, you know. But
right.
But the importance is to have somebody that has gone through it thoroughly to help you go through it thoroughly. You just try to go through the steps, and I know when I first read the steps, I'm like, what does that even mean? And how are you going to answer that if you don't know? You know, you need somebody to you need somebody to answer it for you. You know, and that's what a sponsor's for. They're there to walk you through it.
And he called and asked.
Hey.
And I barely knew. Sometimes I had to call my sponsor.
Yeah.
And I
sometimes his
Terry, help me
sponsor
out.
had to call his sponsor.
Yeah.
That's this whole thing of like one addict, one alcoholic, one fucked up person helping another fucked up person.
But
Or
this is the
being
thing.
with
Could you
another one.
imagine like doing a fifth step with someone you don't even like have a relationship with?
I don't know. My first one, yes, that'd have been tricky. I wouldn't have said what I said. But I did my fifth step with a man I know didn't do some of the shit that I knew that I was about to share some things with him that was going to have him on some whoa type shit. I knew, just because I knew who he was from when I was a little kid. My sponsor was someone that was a family friend, and I knew him during his days of getting fucked up, which consisted of some blows and hookers and booze. To me, that was like a Sunday morning.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I get it.
I knew he couldn't relate to kicking a door in or doing some of the shit I did. I knew it was gonna be, and he was never once was his jaw on the floor, and it was just okay, next. Like, he did it really well, where it probably kept me in this program.
You know, I feel like never gets talked about is like the beauty of being a sponsor and doing a fifth step. Like, dude, having someone trust you with their deepest and darkest shit is like,
Yeah,
dude, no one,
it's
people
an
wouldn't trust me with a fucking dollar
Right.
back in the day. Like, and like being able to like be a man of integrity and hold that trust, like, I don't know, it's,
I used
dude,
to.
you tell me anything, I'm telling everyone.
So, fuck yeah,
Like,
we're playing that telephone game
yeah.
now. Bro,
I am
did you hear
fucking some shit up.
Yes.
All right, and
Yes.
I'm gonna watch it happen and
Yes.
enjoy it.
And I'm gonna add a few little.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll change it up, switch it up a
that-
little bit.
You sharing that made me think like one of the very first things I used to share about when they're like, "What's the biggest benefit to this?" Because I always used to be. Of course, I got a sponsor with something I thought I wanted, money, and whatever. But then, like, we hear about promises in the one fellowship, and for me, I didn't understand. I was always looking for something besides money that was this big benefit to this program. And my big first thing was something like that, was another man trusting in me to tell me some personal shit. To me, that was like the most rewarding thing that had happened to me in 20 years. And it was petty, but it was him trusting me and asking for feedback. And I was like, wow, that was like a gift. To me, that was a promise. One of the biggest ones that had ever happened to me in my entire life. And that's
Honestly,
the gifts.
like now I found that when I do a fifth step, especially with like like a new sponsor, I'll often start it with like I will share some of my like big ones I didn't want to share.
Yep.
When you hit them with that, they're like, oh, so
That's fun.
don't break anything.
I had a friend share. I had one buddy. No, someone shared with me about how their sponsor. I'm behind the camera. How they open it with talking about a molestation that happened for them, and that's how they started the fifth step. And he was like, just to let you know, like, I have nothing to hide from you, and like I went through some things, so let's get done with your fifth step. this will help free you of that burden of whatever you think is so dark and dirty, whatever. And of course, this is just for a podcast. We're talking to have sustenance on a conversation. At the end of the day, my recovery is mine. For me to tell you about
Same.
yours, like I always have to preface that or preface that for the simple fact that like anyone out there listening thinking Donnie's trying to tell you how to do your recovery or Charlie's telling you what to do about your life or that Chucky's saying what you need to be doing. No, well, this is just for the topic of conversation. Like when we're telling you about some of our stories, that's it.
Yep.
And
I just want to say, Anthony, I hope you love some of me too.
hey, check.
Oh, look at that. He loves me too.
Oh, wait,
Okay.
right there.
Let's go. Let's
Yes. Oh, Tony's the shit.
Yeah, I like definitely am not a fucking guru or any of that shit.
No.
Like, dude, I barely know how to function.
Yeah.
Like,
Quick.
Yeah, no, come on.
This like quick soap commercial. You're worth your weight in gold, and you matter. Wash, rinse, repeat.
hell yeah.
Hey, Chucky's got the biggest heart of anyone I've known. Like, hey, you know, you meet people along your lifeline, and you just know someone with a pure heart. That wasn't bullshit. He's spitting at the beginning and this and that and the prayers. Like, you know, he's genuine, and I like that.
That's what's like I don't know, the most beautiful thing about recovery, I think, in at least in my eyes, is there's someone for everyone. And I don't mean that in like a dating sense.
No.
I mean that in like
In a life sense.
it seems as though people who have like a criminal past and like definitely in like the methamphetamine area tend to gravitate towards me as a sponsor.
Hell yeah.
And I've been told that I sponsor rather aggressively. But that's what I needed, dude. I needed a sponsor to tell me,
wasn't going to co-sign your shit.
yeah, and okay, like, I'm not going to break anonymity, but also I had a sponsor who asked me to get into his truck and asked me what I knew about recovery when I was a month clean.
Really?
Yeah, and
Oh, I like this. Tell this story.
yeah,
I like this. Tell
dude,
this shit.
it is like, yeah, I finally mustered up the courage to ask this man to be my sponsor.
So
and
he recycled what happened to him with you.
100%, and I
that's what we
fucking
do.
love it,
Let's
dude.
hear it. I want you to regurgitate that. I love this.
I should preface that, like, my first sponsor was he's a bigger guy, much like myself. He's a little taller than me, and he's got a tad more of an attitude, and will tell you what he thinks immediately.
Yep.
But he shared some crazy shit in a meeting, and I was like, I identify with that, and he might be my sponsor. This man that I had just met in a meeting, I asked him to be my sponsor, and he asked me to get into his truck, which was already weird. And
I have a side question before you go further. That happened to him, and then he had that happen to you?
verbatim,
Okay,
dude.
good enough then.
Like-
I wasn't sure. You started telling me, I'm like, did he just regurgitate what he did to someone else and say it as though he was the victim
That's
on that
literally
one?
what he had me do.
And
So
then-
he asked me to get into his truck, which I was sketched out about. And then we went for a drive. I think we were going to fellowship or something. But he was like, hey, what do you know about staying sober? And much like him, I gave, like, I talked for probably 5 minutes.
And it was miraculous.
Yeah, and I was like, fucking, that was the right answer. and Terry's just like, have you ever thought maybe you don't know shit about it? And maybe you should shut the fuck up? And like, dude, that was my introduction to having a sponsor.
That's so
And
Terry.
then we're late, like, he's sharing his story at a meeting like a year later. And he tells that, and I'm like, motherfucker, he did the same thing to me. Like,
That's the best.
I just want to say that my favorite thing about this said sponsor that Donnie had, we would count off into groups in the meeting, and they'd go 1, 2, 1, 2, and it would get to him. He'd say, "I will not be hurted," and we'll just go wherever.
That's him.
Dude,
He
it's
still
awesome.
does that.
Yeah.
I was just with him at Frisbee Alamo.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
yeah, he's one of the curmudgeonly old white guys that I always talk about. And I don't. It's just he's part of that group, and I needed someone not to co-sign my shit.
Yeah.
'Cause
right, and dude, he like, the dude is a fucking clown, and like, I've never felt so accepted by another man. Even like that dude, that used to be so weird to me to say out loud, but like this man made me just feel like okay
Part of.
and a part of.
Yeah.
But he was also like super quick to tell me like, hey, maybe you're on some bullshit and you don't have to do that. Dude, he fired me twice because I wouldn't call him. And yeah, like I don't sponsor as aggressively as him, but you know, he took me through some steps and didn't change my life. And you know, when he told me that I could like that I should start raising my hand, it scared the shit out of me to begin with. But like in reality, that was like one of the like biggest honors I've had in recovery.
Right, being told to be able to do that even.
Yeah.
I can't play that on air, dude. I can't play that on air. Not here.
Oh no, that.
All right. So you know what though, like the guy that Donnie's talking about, like he's part of a group of guys that are from this other fellowship. Like, you know what? I don't even want to separate fellowships. He's just one of these guys that he's not going to co-sign no shit. And he's one of these guys, he gives it to you raw. When Donnie's saying the dude's like, yeah, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, so shut the fuck up. They really are people out there like that. But he didn't say it in a way of being mean. He said it in a way of love.
Totally.
And like he, you know, and you know, you guys know him. He's very like aggressive and all that. But also, dude, I was like 5 months clean, and he had to go out of town for work. He gave me the keys to his $50,000 truck, and was just like, "Don't do anything fucking stupid. Take care of my dog." And I was like, "What?" Yeah. Like. And you know what's the crazy part? I didn't do anything fucking stupid. Yeah. And I took care of his dog. Like,
it's like that blind faith type of a situation.
Dude, no one had ever trusted me for anything for years prior to that.
I mean, that's huge.
And like when someone like he was willing to do that, that really helped open my eyes to like, I mean, am I gonna give a I'd probably give Charlie. I'd like Charlie to drive my car, and maybe a couple other sponsees.
There was a point in time where you had warrants and we had to switch cars.
Oh yeah.
So that in case we got pulled over, I didn't have any warrants. So.
Oh yeah.
That was a little back in the day, you know.
Oh yeah, it was way back in the day. Yeah.
Because a little outside issue, boys. Real quick, look at the TV. Just outside issue, but take care of that, please, for our buddy Tony.
Will do.
Good enough.
I don't know if I got one, but I'll
check your
I'll
Facebook
check it,
stuff.
Yeah.
And you know what, ZZ or
ZZ is my friend. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, ZZ hit it right on the head here. Some people cross your paths for a very specific purpose, and that's a beautiful thing.
Very, very beautiful. I mean, me and Donnie, you know.
Dude, this is my favorite story.
Donnie got. We went to the same treatment center, right? And he got there a week before me, and I get in. And I get an Uber. I'm at a hotel. I get an Uber over to the treatment center. I ended up going to the Dollar General across the street, just do one last quick blast, you know, before I go in, you know. And I go in and I'm fucking paranoid. Everyone's trying to kill me, you know. Like it was crazy, you know. And I saw Donnie, and it was COVID times, you know. He had a little face mask with like a skull on it. And I was like, I can't go near that guy. But then he came up to me, you know what I mean? And he was like, well, it was a drug of choice. And I told him, I was like, meth, you know? And he's like, welcome to the family, you know? And like, just made me like, in a weird way, made me feel like, you know, like I wasn't an outsider, you know?
You were his Terry.
Yeah, right. You know, and
you were his Terry.
And so we ended up leaving, you know, graduating. Donnie went over to one treatment center. I went to a different one. We lost touch. We got very close in those 30 days, you know, and we lost touch after we left. And, you know, I was trying to find him. You know, I was trying to figure out, you know, is he still clean? Is he still sober? You know, can I, you know, I need to see Donnie, you know, like I'm trying to get into the fellowship. I'm trying to do things right, you know, and Gopher State, I want to say 2 years ago.
Which is next weekend, by the way.
Which is next weekend, yep. Gopher State, I'm walking down. I'm walking in the middle where the smoking area is, you know, and I turn around, or I go to sit down on the side, and I turn around as going to sit down, I see Donnie. And I was like, no. Well, he was walking up to me. He was like, Charlie? I was like, Donnie? I was like, no way, dude. And he's like, you got a sponsor? I asked him, I'm like, have you stayed clean? You know, we were 13 months sober at this point. And he's like, fucking duh. And he's like, you got a sponsor? I was like, oh. He's like,
now.
I'm your sponsor now. and I was like, sounds good, dude. I've been, and me personally as well, have had a lot of hurt through the men in my life, you know, and men, and just not even the men, but men in my life, you know, and I just, how am I gonna sit down and trust somebody? You know, I don't trust any men. You know, I wanted a girl to be my sponsor, you know, because I feel like I could relate better with her, you know.
Then I can sleep with her too.
Relate.
I can relate.
I can relate way better, you know, to women, you know, and you know, and that was my mindset. But you know, when I got with Donnie, you know, like I hit the ground running, you know, at first, and we got through some steps, you know, we got the 4th step, 5th step, and then something clicked, and you know, something bad clicked, and I ended up firing him, and went off to a bunch of different went off to a bunch of different other sponsors, you know, and I fucking just hated all of them, you know. I just didn't like how they did.
You're not done. Comparing everybody to Don.
And then just recently, you know, I mean, maybe 6 months ago, maybe a little longer than that, maybe a year ago, I wasn't going to meetings.
We started doing boys' night.
Yeah.
So like 6, 7, almost a year ago.
And I wasn't doing anything for my recovery, you know, and I was at a point where, you know, we just lost 2 babies in a row, you know, 2 miscarriages, you know, and I was at a point that, you know, we have firearms in the house, and I was at a point that I was gonna kill myself, you know,
and this is 2+ years into recovery.
Yep.
Yeah, this is years and years.
Clean time doesn't equal
clean time. No, it doesn't.
It doesn't equal happiness.
No, it doesn't. Not at all.
Fuck no.
No.
Because like
You need to work these steps. You need to get a sponsor. You need to work these steps. Or I almost killed myself 2 years into recovery, you know, into having 2 years of clean time.
And
you
he's
know?
like like he's not like just sitting at home white knuckling. This dude's going on vacations and shit. And he's fucking miserable.
Yeah, and
miserable.
That's a whole topic we could really dive into. Usually we wrap up right around now. We go 2 hours, but we're not usually graced with the presence of men like you three. So with that, that's just a little ego booster, you know. Damn. But I think that's important we talk about. Like, and anyone out there, I'll put up the hotline. Like, if anytime that gets brought up on this show, like, I like to really touch on some stuff. You didn't bring it up, but like, mental health is a real thing. If you're dealing with it out there, like, go see some professional help. Don't be ashamed of some mental health you're dealing with. If you're having harmful thoughts or self-harm thoughts or suicidal thoughts, like, I'm going to put a hotline up here. I think it's 899, but reach out, please. You're worth being here. Like, we want you to be here. Come down to Will Work for Recovery, 2520 North 2nd Street, or go to your local recovery spot or go to a church, something. You're worth living. Like, just don't. If someone hasn't told you today, let it be me. Like, I love you. You're loved. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Tara. I always get, man, I got
Tara.
All right, Tara, not Tara. It's Tara. Tara. I got 3 other friends. We call them Tara. It's spelled the same. Whatever. Marie, I love you. Thank you. But serious, if you're struggling, please reach out. You're
I'm
worth
still in
this.
therapy.
Yeah, like, and I
too.
think this is something we could definitely talk about because it's a real thing. I was just at a funeral on Friday, man, from someone who removed their airbags on Monday and planned all week and went head on with someone on Friday and killed himself. And I've known him for 5 years since I got into recovery. Like, it was mental health. It was untreated mental health, and he's not the first one I've lost in that the world's lost in the last 5 years due to this shit.
Yeah, not even close to the first one.
So you're doing recovery for 2 years, and you're having thoughts like that.
Yeah.
So, like, take us through from that point moving forward. I know you were already starting to, and this is
Yeah.
Tim doing Tim, so come on.
No, I was feeling that way, you know, and I called Donnie. I was like, dude, I need you to be my sponsor again. He would message me every once in a while. I was like, whenever you're ready, you know, and
But wait, you fired him?
no,
He fired me.
Oh, you fired him. That was your
Yeah.
first. Oh, that was.
He was my first sponsor to fire me. Wasn't the last.
No, but you know, I called him. I was like, we got to do this. You know, like we have to do this. I need something different. You know, and I'm just, you know, I'm sitting at home. I'm depressed. I'm going to work. You know, to not feel anything. You know, I was framing at the time. You know, I was a union framer, and I would just go to work miserable, and it was a miserable job, and it it was more happy than what I was, and and it was just keeping me numb, and I didn't want to get high, I didn't really have thoughts of it, because I need to do this, I can't, I don't got another one. I'm gonna die, I'm 24, but if I go back out, I'm gonna fucking die.
You know this.
It's just a youngin'.
And I call him and I'm like, we need to do this. Let's start now, And it took a little. He said yes, and it took a little bit, but now I've been hitting the ground running. My daughter was born 9 days ago, and
I thought it was 8 days.
9
said
now.
8 earlier.
9 now. It's about 10. It's
Okay,
2
all
more
right.
hours, I'd say, But
I thought we were calling it. No, I didn't mean that.
No,
Which,
but-
like, God,
and
isn't that
I
crazy,
got-
dude? Our daughters.
Yeah, they're
All right,
gonna.
I'm just. Sorry, I'm gonna
6
pull a
weeks
Tim.
apart.
I'm gonna pull a
Go
Tim
on,
here
come on,
quick,
come
but
on.
like, I feel like everything that. I don't know. I'm just gonna jump in really quick here. So like, and like the beauty of this program and everything. I used to curse God, the Creator, for what happened to me as a kid when I was younger, and that's what kept
By
me.
ones you trusted and loved.
Yeah, by ones that I trusted and loved, it hurt me the worst. And like I carried that hurt and guilt and shame forever. And then the minute I let it go and like started using it as like a part of my story, Charlie's talked about it, like now I look at it as like a gift from the Creator. I went through those things as a kid to help other men
Seriously.
now in my life
Yep.
Right.
get through these things.
And that's what God's for, Like when we lost those babies, I was so angry at God. I'm like, I just
God.
I just got God in my life. You know what I mean? A year ago, and I'm like, why would this happen? I was baptized. All my sins have been forgiven. That's how I felt. And that's what I knew. And why is this happening to me? And I had to sit down with a pastor of my church. I sat down with my fiance's mom, actually, and they both said the same thing, is God's not there to stop the bad things from happening. He's there to get you through them, And
We even had several conversations outside my old shop where I worked.
Yeah.
Like I remember those.
Yeah,
Like
and nowadays, like I pray, like, dude, like everything that I ever prayed for or asked for, I have now. You know what I mean? Like back when all those treatments, I think I went to 22, 23 different inpatients and a bunch of different outpatients, and all of those, they always asked me, at some point, they asked me, what do you want for your life, And I would, the same answer every time, I would say that, I want a good job, I want a house, in the woods, which I don't have yet. I'll get it eventually,
get it.
But and I want a wife and some dogs and kids to come home to, and I have all of that, check, like, and I have my own place, I get to go home tonight and sleep on the super comfy bed and cuddle my daughter for a little bit, and see my dogs, and it's a blessing, and I'm not exactly where I want to be in my life yet, but I'm gonna get there.
Yeah.
But I have everything that I prayed for.
So we got a guy named Mark W. who will be on the show here eventually, and it's all based on something he shared on a Tuesday meeting, in a candlelight meeting, and he went down this road of like, not be careful what you pray for. He said, be ready what you pray for, because
Right.
it's going to
that's
happen.
much better.
And
to
and
put
you
it.
and then when you get that, you need to pray for discipline to keep it.
You're stealing the words from it, because
Yeah.
he didn't stop right there. He went on with about what, I don't want to steal much of his story because he will be on, but he went on to say, like, he started getting everything he prayed for, but then also, like, that's just the beginning. Like, that's just the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
be careful,
Yeah.
because it's coming.
Yeah.
Like, you praying for it, you're gonna get it, but then
Yeah.
be ready, because there's a
Dude, I
lot
feel
more
like
after
I'm
that.
starting recovery every day.
Every day.
Like, and like honestly, like I don't know, it's not like the pink cloud or whatever the fuck they call that.
I don't think
but,
there's
like,
an expiration on that shit.
there's
because I've
not,
been there for
dude.
6
Like,
years.
seriously, dude.
Seriously,
Like,
yeah.
I
can say
woke
my
up in the
gratitude
treatment
daily.
center at 6:30 a.m. fucking ready to make that bed, and I was like gonna
Yeah.
have a fucking good ass day.
Hell yeah.
Now I wake up in my own bed that I bought, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, she makes the bed, but like I'm still like gonna have a good ass day, and that feeling is the same. You know, I learned how to be grateful with $20 in my pocket.
Yeah.
And like when that happened, dude, the second I stopped chasing money, it's like not an issue anymore.
So there's a guy named Dustin O who checked in on the show earlier, but he's a real big proponent. We're in a goals group with like 13 of us, and he's been real vocal about it this last 6 to 8 months. But gratitude, like the name of this show is Attitude for Gratitude. But what you're sharing about in this pink cloud,
Yeah, I
for
stole
me,
that from him.
Yeah, about being happy
The
with
$20
$20
thing, I
yes,
heard him say
know. And Wade said that to him. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. We all take it from somewhere. But this thing about this pink cloud, whatever, mine, I can get in my shit. Who can't?
Yeah.
Who
Shit,
can't
I'll
get
get my shit right now.
Yeah, I can be on some. I still want this, or this could
Yeah.
be happening, or I got to go do this after this show. Like, I got enough to be on some boohoo shit. But I think about my gratitude, and I'm a pink cloud again.
Yeah.
Like I can turn it like quick.
A grateful addict will never use.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm off camera. Hang on. Yeah.
Yeah. Literally. If you're grateful, you won't get high.
No. Yeah. I don't know. And
You won't have that drink. You won't.
yes.
You won't.
Nope. And I can always find, for me, and I speak from my side of the street, I can always find something to be grateful for. And of course, if I want to go down that road of thinking about shit that makes me upset or down or in my head or in the shitter, I can do that too. I don't benefit from that. There was a long time in my life that was the comfortable zone for me. Get high and boohoo about some shit. It just was.
Well, dude, I like even in most like the first year or so, like I confused desire with deserve.
Explain that.
Dude, I got 60 days. All right, why isn't my life fixed? Why don't I have money? Dude, number 3 on my 4th step was the state of Minnesota. That's how fucking sick I was. I was resentful at the state of Minnesota for me being a criminal. Like that, like they're coming personally attacking me.
And at the end of the day, I got caught.
Yeah. I earned every charge I got.
Yes.
All right, I didn't catch shit.
Nope.
It's not COVID. Like, fucking felony points and COVID are 2 different things.
I love that. I love that shit. No, it's the truth. Go ahead.
And I had to, like, I spent a majority of my, dude, I was a drug dealer by the time I was 15. That instilled in my brain that, like, I deserve these things. I deserve a beautiful woman on my arm, and I deserve $100,000, and I deserve a new Bentley, and I deserve a house on Lake Minnetonka. When in reality, and we all know who I'm plagiarizing here, I couldn't keep my room at the sober house clean,
right.
And
me neither.
I had a $5 work ethic. Like,
yeah,
I
want
had
a $100,000 a year job, and I can't manage $5 in my pocket.
Right, and the second I get $100, I fucking burn it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that 6 months ago, I liked a post saying, like this post and money will come your way. And I got a job that is it's going to start paying me really well here soon. So I don't know. It's just,
So
no.
chainmail shit works?
It's not. Shut up.
He said chainmail works, man. Just hop on the chainmail.
Share this
shit.
status and you'll be a millionaire. Like, no, dude.
Chainmail? What's
Yeah,
that
I don't know what
called?
that's even called, but now it's like, use this audio and
bullshit.
money will come your
Some
way.
bullshit.
Dude,
bullshit.
it's fucking crazy. Everybody will spend like so much time figuring out how to work less.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound
Right.
stupid when you say it out
It
loud?
does.
Yeah.
But you can go right down the street and watch a whole community of people that put in more work to get a free handout than it'd have been less work to just go to your 9 to 5.
right.
Do you know how much work I would put in to go up fucking not too far from here actually to pick up some dope?
I know.
Like, if I put a tenth of that work ethic, using quotation, like that desire to get that bag, if I make that bag like a future for my daughter, a fucking, like, dude, rent's paid at my apartment months in advance now. That's fucking crazy to me. Like, and I set like little goals. Like, I started applying the desire for that big bag of dope to like, well, I mean, I went off the rails for a little bit with shopping. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I replaced shopping with getting high for my better part of first year and a half of my recovery.
Mine was food.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir on that,
Too.
bud.
Yeah.
It's all paid for.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is the fat guy
all
gang
paid
here
for.
tonight. That's the thing. It's all paid for.
I used to co-sign this one. Check this out. For about a year and a half, I was on this tour. I'd go to SNL down at the Basilica, and after, I'd go to Manny's, Murray's, Ruth Chris. I'd go to Stella's. I'd co-sign and say, shit, it's only an $80 steak. I spent that every day on a gram of dough.
Right.
What's the difference? Like, I co-signed that for about a year and a half until I'm like, motherfucking
Dude,
idiot.
total it up.
Yeah, I know, I get it.
Yeah.
And I just did that once
$27
a
a day is 10 grand a year.
Were you in that message? Dustin just put that on the group goals message. He's like, you want to know how you guys trick off $10? Or I'll find it. But it was in the message.
I'm not in that group message, but yeah, he said that to me too.
Yeah, it was 27. Is that what it was? $27.
Yeah,
a
it's like
day?
$27.50 or something a day.
Yeah, it ain't shit.
In a year is 10 grand.
Yeah.
So what I did, because dude, when I read that, it hurt. It made me mad. Like,
It's the
because
truth.
dude, like
Especially if you're a convenience store guy that'll stop and drop, buy a soda or candy or ciggies or this or that. That's
well,
fast.
dude, I quit selling drugs, but I'm a tattoo artist. I get paid in $100
Cash.
bills.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a tough
like
one.
it is a tough one.
Yeah.
Because if I'm down on money, like I got a full day tomorrow. I'm fine. What? Nike's releasing a new pair of SBs. I better get them in both colors. What am I going to be? Some bum at the meeting with dirty shoes? And that is when my addict shit is kicking in,
Yes,
and I need a
100%.
fucking check. Dude, what the fuck? If I think I need to be the best dressed at a meeting, how fucking crazy is that?
Although, I think we all have a part of us that's guilty of that at some point in our recovery. Or I was. I definitely was. I was worried more about appearance than I was about recovery. And that's what...
Because if I look good, I must be doing good.
Yeah.
Right?
no. I got that. That whole shift happened when I found my first stag meeting. Or my first men's meeting. The first time I found an all-men meeting, that all changed for me. I don't know why, but that was the first time it changed for me.
Honestly, I feel like a big turning point in mine, and dare I say Charlie's recovery, is we started going to a men's meeting very consistently.
Yeah.
And
It sheds a lot of... you can word it how you want. For me, real talk was there wasn't a woman there, any women, where I had to worry about. There's certain things that you just make sure my zipper's up. I ain't got a booger in my nose, or I'm crusty, whatever. There's just something that got shedded when other women weren't there. Plus,
see, but you still get that mentality even though you got a girl. Like, she knows you're a
100%.
mess.
Yeah, but it's like
she don't care about any of that, but
No.
you still are like, what are
is
these?
it
Are these
human-
women who I literally have no interest in, and nothing's ever gonna happen? I gotta look good in front of them, though,
I'm
right?
concerned about it. Like,
Yeah, it's
why?
not just you ladies that
No.
have to worry about how you're looking.
It's fucked up, but that's what we do.
Yeah, and when I start making money, I'm like, fuck, dude, $200 pair of shoes, that ain't shit to me now. Yeah, well, buy 10 of them. Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also like that too. I don't know.
That's 2 months rent.
Yeah.
That's crazy for
Yeah.
shoes that I'm never gonna keep. I'm gonna wear 3 times, and dude, I'm fucking psycho about my boxers and socks match my shoes. I'm
Man,
crazy.
and the only
like
one who's gonna
that.
see that is your girl.
Right. See? That's what I'm saying,
You hearing
dude.
this, Chucky?
I try to look sometimes, but
I'm like, ooh, those
But
are cool.
that's still like my addict brain in that as long as if everything matches, I gotta be doing great.
Yeah.
But I can be looking great and inside fucking
Feeling like
dying.
shit. Yeah, trying to cover up some shit.
I heard a speaker at Minac 2 years ago say she was, and I'm not going to break anonymity, but she said she was 6 years sober and wanted to fucking die.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, for whatever reason, that hit me dude, like a Mack truck. Because and about that spot, I just gotten engaged with Casey. One of the best days of my life, but internally, I was doing really well tattooing, but I was fucking miserable inside. And I wasn't working my program hard enough. I in my area, there's a central hub for meetings, and dude, you get a black key tag in there, you're treated like you're someone in NA, which I fucking hate.
Yeah, I hate that. Too.
Dude, I'm not. I am an addict.
I know,
or an alcoholic or whatever.
I've noticed that in the different fellowships is like, it's not just your area. It's like that. It's for some reason either I'm not going to enough of the meetings, but I tend to see more time at Alcoholics Anonymous meetings than I do at Narcotics
100%.
meetings.
In my experience as well.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that
I'm not shitting on NA either.
Hell no.
But like, yeah, I go to an AA meeting where, and this is the part why I keep going there, is when they ask who's willing to sponsor, 90% of the room raises their hands. Mm-hmm. That tells me that people at this meeting give a fuck about their recovery and don't just do it for clout.
And something's working. Something's working. Whatever the case. So, boys, we've gone a while here. I love this. And we're getting good feedback from people, and we appreciate that too. All right, we're going to take a left turn, a real left turn. And Chuck,
hit me.
All right, are we alone in the universe?
What? That's where you're going?
Yeah.
I don't think it's even statistically possible that we're alone in the universe.
Totally not.
No
I don't
fucking
have
way.
the answer. I'm just, what's your thoughts on
All
it?
those planets that NASA has discovered?
Yeah.
Dude, I mean,
10 billion stars. I don't think there's a pot. You're right.
There's
Statistically not
no
right.
way that we are the only one. We're like...
That'd be pretty egotistically enormous
accurate
to
for
think.
man.
Yeah. Chuck, do you feel we are alone in the universe?
I believe we are not alone in the universe.
Elaborate.
I'm fascinated. I mean, like some people are like, you can't believe in UFOs and God, and I'm like, yeah, I can. But I'm fascinated by extraterrestrial kind of things and supernatural and at the same time, I have my strong convictions with my higher power and God and that's what helps me sleep at night, is being grateful for having that higher power and God and I'm just grateful for my health and my family and friends and everybody in this room. I'm
Charlie,
grateful.
are we alone in the universe?
no. Definitely
What do you
not.
mean?
No, I mean from the what's that telescope that they
Hubble?
or-
The
is that the
bubble?
new one?
The Hubble bubble? No, there is a new.
The Hubble bubble.
Like
what the fucking junkie.
Ask me the Hubble bubble.
No, the God, what's it
I'm gonna
call?
tell you in 2 seconds because I know what you're talking about.
It's new?
Yeah, there's a
it's-
new one.
it's
They
bigger,
they just shot it up into space.
Well, how are they going to look at it?
Feed through internet shit.
Through what?
And
They
it's
got-
like and it's like a shit ton
They got
stronger
Xfinity
than
in space or what?
The James Webb Space
Yeah,
Telescope
yeah.
is a giant leap forward in our quest to understand the universe and our origin. Webb is examining every phase of cosmic history.
it can
from-
look light years away.
Yes.
And we're finding planets with city lights on it, light years away. So we're not
crazy
alone.
is that?
That's like man in a nutshell. Our quest to understand shit that maybe we're not meant to
No,
understand.
dude. We can't get past the moon. I mean, we can't get past Mars for a reason. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we're trying to transition, like Elon Musk, is trying to transition so that we can live on Mars somehow.
Right.
But like we'll see if that happens. You know
What
what I
is
mean?
a light year?
Why did we stop looking in the oceans? I want to know.
Yeah. they say we only discovered 2% of the oceans.
Yeah,
Like
why?
what?
Because
For
that's
what?
how many addicts make it out of. All right. So
Damn.
isn't it our 2%?
2%. Yeah.
I think actually statistically it's lower now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Wow. See, to me, it's an
Dude, do you remember when you were 30 days clean? How bad did you want to get high?
I can't listen. My everyone's story is different.
Do you know why I personally?
used until I was done. You gotta understand. That.
Right, but like I personally think it's so hard, like because you've heard people say 30, 60, and 90 are the hardest to get, right? Yeah, like the grimace on your face
Yeah.
tells me yes, you've heard it. But
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, to an extent, dude, at 90 days clean, I didn't have shit to lose. Like it'd be so easy to go back out. I'm fucking grateful I didn't, but like in that early stage of recovery, like Dude, I've been fucking up. Like, it ain't nothing.
Well, that's the normal.
Ain't nothing gonna be shocked. No one's gonna be shocked if I go back out. They expect me to.
Right. I guess for me, like, that was still the normal, was getting high. That's what I knew.
Yeah.
But also, like, I've heard enough other people's stories, and I know, like, mine's not unique, but I used it until I was done. I don't know how to explain it. That's where I'm also, like, I don't understand people who keep going out and relapsing. I don't personally get it.
I don't either, man.
I mean,
I've had sponsees that,
I don't
like,
get it. Why waste your time with this shit if you think there's something better out there? Like, I don't know. And I don't word it properly yet. After all these years, I still
I had a
haven't.
sponsor who said it rather harshly.
Come on.
He
I
said,
know.
if
I know
you-
the guy. That's a
okay, yeah.
beautiful ponytail. Let's hear it.
That if you don't think that recovery is gonna work, then you are doing nothing but wasting valuable getting high time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Seriously.
There's a spot in this book that says if your man still thinks it, go back to the bar.
Go get a drink. If you
Yeah.
don't think you're an alcoholic, go to the bar.
Fucking, what are you wasting? You could be killing another man who could be using my time right now.
And that's, dude, and I don't know, that's how I feel.
I do too.
Some
I'm right
people
there.
are not in the spot to hear that, and I have maybe shown less grace than I should have in scenarios in the past.
I don't feel bad for him.
I don't either. Like, it's fucked up, dude. Like,
I don't sit and like wholeheartedly say, well, if I can do this, you can do this. I don't believe that. Like, I believe and because mental health is real. So
100%.
I don't know what you're going through where you might have a different chemical imbalance than me. I believe all the heroin I did fucked up my energy level.
Dude, addiction is with the disease question in the beginning of this, like, it's mental health. Drug addiction is mental health.
Thank you.
Like,
It's the brain that made the fucked up choice for me to sit and play doctor. Who am I to fill a needle with some substance? I don't know what the fuck it
and I don't
really
think
is.
it's a lack of knowledge of drug addiction as to why it's so hard to treat from the higher ups. Because, I
We
think,
can get into real
like,
sticky
we'll just make it
subject
illegal
matter.
and then it'll stop, right?
Well, and then look at the countries where I know there's one country, nothing's illegal, and they have way lower fucking issues with drug addiction.
I want to call it Amsterdam, maybe, or
And now
Norway.
I think it's
Amsterdam,
Norway or something.
Norway.
No, this isn't one of the Brazil. It's down South
Oh,
America.
yeah, I know what you're
heroin
talking
is,
about, yeah.
everything is legal.
Dude, there's spots to go do drugs.
Yeah, they have like government ran trap houses, and they don't have the addiction problems like we have here.
And I'm on board with harm reduction.
All right, that was gonna be right.
I don't
right,
think
right.
it's worked for me. Dude, you give me an inch, I'm taking a fucking
Hell yeah.
10 miles.
Oh, just like Dick.
Like-
So I get it. I had to segue quickly after what I
Right,
said.
yeah.
So we had someone in here who I think he even did open up some homes. I still got some of his merch here, but he opened up as like a 6-room home that was harm reduction based. And
God, I just don't.
this was 2 years ago when I was at the other location, and he went on and on about it. And this was the only guest I ever had that I butted heads with. And I was like, because I was too early on to understand. That was the first time I heard about harm reduction. I'm like, so wait, you're telling me here I can do heroin on Tuesdays and Thursdays? That makes no. I'm a heroin junkie. There's no way I can't be a weekend heroin user.
Right. If I'm doing meth, it's on days that end in Y.
Yes,
Like-
it's on days that end in I'm breathing.
Yeah.
I'm doing dope.
Yeah.
Or I'm spending the time while I'm breathing to figure out how I'm going to get my next sack of dope. I don't understand it, but I understand it for, like, to me, alcohol, sure. Benzos, sure.
Yeah.
You'll die from cold turkey and that shit.
I understand it to an extent, kind of how you guys do, but I really am on board with. I know back when I was using, there was one spot I could go to in Minneapolis, and I could go in there. And then give me Narcan right by Merwin's, and I could get Narcan.
I got all my needles,
I could
bro.
get 20 needles, and if I bring back 20 dirty needles, I get 40 needles.
Yeah, bro.
And so that's stopping dirty needles being thrown on the ground and kids stepping on them.
No, oh, bringing them back, yes. I was going to say, because it's still I still have amends that I didn't know how do I make up for all the dirty needles I threw out of my car.
Right.
I go to Parks and pick up.
Right.
Like, that's a living amends I got to make now because my sponsor, who's an alcoholic, knew nothing. He's like, well, maybe you could go to some city parks and just clean up.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because
That's
I didn't know how
awesome.
to make amends for the shit I did when I was, I didn't know.
Right.
But yeah, I went to the Red Door lots. I understand that. I do. But now that I'm clean, I'm like, that's so fucked up.
It
Think
is.
about it. Like, I
Yeah.
can go get needles, a cooker, alcohol, distilled water.
Yeah,
everything but the dope. Although my best connects came from the Red Door.
Exactly right there. Yeah.
I'd sit out there when I couldn't find a connect and be like, bro, you got some dope?
Yeah.
That's why I never had, I can today correlate. Like, I had no problem asking someone in recovery for something because, like Dustin says, man, you had no problem asking, you had no problem calling the dope man 40, 50 times in the middle of the night to get that dope.
And usually you asking them for something is helping them as well. You
Hell
know?
yes.
Yeah.
And I'm scared to say, I'm going to work a step or I'm going to try to be
Right.
willing to, I'm willing to give this God thing a chance. I'm nervous. That you guys, I don't know if you heard that first guest I had that dude with braids.
Yeah.
He was scared of doing steps. I'm like,
You weren't scared to pick up a bag.
you weren't scared to ask a dope dealer to front you some meth that you knew you had no money for, but you're. But I do get, like, now I've got a clear head. I got emotion. Like, I get it. I do, I guess. So here's another question, boys. Are you sober? Are you clean if you're on methadone or Suboxone? Go.
Oh.
I don't like methadone or Suboxone. I don't agree with it.
No, all right. So all right, but do you?
No.
If you find out Donnie's on Suboxone today, and he's living the life he's still living,
No,
being a
because
dad
I'm watching it. You know, I'm watching it right now. I got people at my work who've been on it for methadone, who have been on methadone for 5 years, 6 years, and they're telling me, all right, now I'm gonna try to get off of it, and they're fucking withdrawing.
Oh yes,
they're
you're
withdrawing.
going to withdraw,
and they're
yes.
withdrawing. They feel like shit, and they feel like dogs, so they gotta go. And then they're like, and then he was like, "Fuck, I can't do it." He had to go get his fix from the store, you know, from the clinic. You know what I mean?
What's the difference
What's the difference to what?
between going up picking up a bag of heroin and going and doing
Getting
that?
it legally.
The way you're living.
Yeah,
your
the
life
government's
is what
paying
I'd
for
say.
it?
Yeah.
The way I'd say is how you're living your life, but
100%, but also like, dude, I was like, where I went to treatment.
I'm just curious. We always get the question. I'm really curious about people's views on it.
I've done Suboxone before to help me get off of it, but I've done it for like 1 or 2 days. These people are on it for years. Years, dude.
I think it's become a fucking Band-Aid.
Yeah, seriously.
It doesn't fix shit. Dude, it fixes one leg and breaks the other.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen.
The withdrawals are worse.
Yeah,
They're worse.
I've seen people
and longer.
come into treatment with methamphetamine there being their primary problem and get put on Suboxone.
That
Like,
I don't understand.
what?
I never understood.
Like, what the fuck? Dude, where was
putting-
this shit when
yeah.
I got clean?
Like,
I just never understood putting someone on methadone or Suboxone for methamphetamines. I understand. I don't know. Maybe it helps with withdrawals from.
Yeah, because it turns you into a fucking
It helps,
zombie.
it helps with cravings because it does. I mean, I had a buddy who probably still takes it, but at the time when he was taking it, he would take an extra one, and he would be
Oh, so he's still
just
mad
as
at
he would be
He's still
just
mad
as
at-
fucked
yeah.
up as if he just took one of those fake 30s, you know?
I'm trying to think of I
Yeah, I
know
remember
there's I
being-
know there's one person in your life that I don't know if you know or not, but I know for a fact they're on Suboxone and they've been on Suboxone and they're successful in their life and doing all.
I'm
the
not
things.
saying it can't be done, but the majority of the people that I know that are on either look
you
like
say-
they're fucked up all the time.
Oh, we had this. Yes, we all have stories of that shit. But then there's also, I guess I know 2 meth users that are normies. It's so weird to say.
What?
Yeah, one's a fucking millionaire, successful business owner. He's been doing it for years, and he just
Doing meth?
yes.
This is why I know I have this disease. Because just hearing you say that, I'm like, how?
Pisses you out.
How?
Yeah, you're wondering
How do we do it?
I get
How
it.
do we do it?
Immediately, my first thought is, show me how. Like,
They are anomalies, seriously. And there's 2 that I know
for sure. Like,
but-
I had one dude who would buy a T-shirt from me every day for $120. And he just went about his life. It was crazy to me. Like, and he just functioned.
So check this out. An alcoholic sees a normal drinker the way you just said. Like they're in their head like, how do you only have 2 cocktails?
Dude, even like, yeah, like, I don't know. I didn't drink to get fucked up until I did.
It wasn't a problem until it was a problem.
Yeah, my story wasn't my story until it was.
Yeah,
Like,
right. It's almost one of those. You'll find it in the last place you left it.
dude, I used to drive around in stolen
Statute limitations
cars.
up.
Yeah,
it's
it's
up.
I would drive around in stolen rental cars hitting the meth bong, thinking I had made it. And, like, I would see dudes homeless and be like, that's fucking never. Dude, I would never get that bad. Guess what? I fucking did.
Got that bad,
Like,
yeah.
it got bad, all right? You know, we were talking about it on the way here. Like, I never stood on a corner and begged because I'm too prideful.
Yeah.
But, like, I was definitely in positions where, like,
Pride, yeah,
You
that's
know?
the word. I was just embarrassed.
the only reason I didn't beg was because of
never
my
begged.
ego and pride.
But I honestly, I wanted to because I knew the money that could be brought in.
Yeah.
But I was just embarrassed. I might see one of my parents' friends, or I might see someone who knows me. But that was one of my last hustles I was about to do. I was gonna beg.
No, when I quit selling drugs, you know, oddly enough, the addiction didn't stop. Yeah, I used to always say this when I shared, but I graduated to check forgery, and then, like, yeah, I probably made more money doing that. Sorry, I stole
You
more
stole
money
more
doing
money,
that, but, like,
eventually.
you know, I also spent more time, like, homeless, and, like, dude, sometimes a check wouldn't work out, and it was the dead of winter. And, like, do you think I'd,
that's
like...
how life was going? Like, that's how
Right,
it
dude,
was.
that's how life just was, and it just was. I just accepted it.
And accepted it.
Like,
The brain you have now,
the
could you
fucking
imagine
Quality Inn in Bloomington by that shitty-ass Walmart, there's a little shack, like, next to the hotel.
that was where you're staying?
Dude, I would stay in there sometimes because I couldn't fucking come up with the money. Or, dude, one time, I was going back to the Quality Inn in Bloomington. I think I was out trying to steal checks from mailboxes, and I see 2 squad cars, and they're walking out with evidence bags with fucking guns and shit. And then I take a closer look. It's from my room. But I wasn't staying under my name. The cops asked me what my name was, and I just said I was Jake something. I kept walking in. I walked into the hotel lobby, walked towards the back, walked out the back door. All my shit gone again. But, dude, I was so, like, used to, like,
That was just it. That was part of
the
life.
rebuild. Like, it was always the rebuild. It was, all right, I got to steal enough money to get tattoo equipment to get back to my life. But then the problem is, you know, I said, what am I going to do? Not buy dope?
Right,
Absolutely
no, that's
not.
part of life.
And what am I going to do? Look like a bum? No, I got to go and buy the freshest pair of kicks I can find, and I got to have the freshest threads. And then I'd get everything stolen. Either or the cops would take it, or it was
Isn't that
just
life?
perpetual fucking misery, veiled as me figuring out how to be successful, when in reality I was just a scumbag stealing.
And you're okay with it.
Dude,
Well,
it
whether
didn't-
you were or
It didn't
weren't.
even kind of bother me. It was just
That's
like
how
what
fucked up
this
it
is
is.
just like what you do. Like,
Yeah, that was what life was. That was the normal.
and, like, honestly, like, the most depressing thing of it all was, like, I was so good at check forgery because it required basically forging a signature. Like, do you know how
You're a
much
tattoo artist.
You know how much of me died every time I would sit here and use my creator-given talent to be a fucking scumbag? Like,
Was it fucking you up at the time?
absolutely.
It
Any
was,
any
okay.
time I was sober,
Okay.
I would if I woke up and wasn't high, I was emotionally void and dead.
So here goes back to this thing of I got a question. Shit, I should have tied it in earlier. I think you started hinting on it earlier, but, like, being that addicts, alcoholics, we're resourceful people. Like, you alluded to talking about the people you meet in these rooms earlier on, and I didn't get to the question, and it came back again. We meet these people in these rooms. God, when did it come up? Whatever. We meet some genuine ass people. And these are usually people that were out there scumbags, like us. But look at you. Not a lot of people you'll hear them talk about, like, you woke up spiritually and mentally, emotionally bankrupt from the actions you were taking. So you got fucked up to forget about those feelings again.
Yeah.
That cycle. Well, now you come into these rooms, clear up your head. You're still that same guy inside. So we meet other guys like that in these rooms, and now you guys are going to a men's meeting or whatever you mentioned. Like, these they talk about the opposite of connection. The opposite of addiction is connection.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that statement?
100% accurate.
Have you always understood that statement? Or was there a
Once
time
I heard it, yeah.
it made sense?
Yeah. Because when I was out there doing all this dirt, you know, and I have people in my life, but they were
there for a reason.
show me who you walk with, I'll tell you who you are. Like, I hung out with plugs,
Oh, that's the other thing too. Keep coming. Sorry.
criminals, junkies.
Where do you
Take
think your
your
life's
pick.
going? So you alluded to this too, and I'm doing a shitty job of hosting by how I brought up the last question and how I'm going to do this one. But I think you were getting to this point. It's like the people we surround ourselves with. If I'm not surrounding myself with people that are doing bigger things or better things,
I don't want it. Like, I'm fucking so happy for everyone who has found recovery and is staying clean. But like, dude, I don't stay clean. Like, I am clean and I want to fucking keep going.
Yes.
Like,
Elevate.
yeah. Like, if I'm not chasing the next, dude, it's just like working the steps or fucking like.
That's
dude,
what you alluded to. Chasing, like you were chasing dope.
I'm chasing spirit like I chase dope.
And yeah, I had someone else on the show when Mike, that dude who's sitting here, I almost said that black dude. And I still ended up saying it. But no, the only one I had on the show tonight, Mike, my guy. So, God, I'm an asshole. All right, I got to work better on my, what's that called?
Yeah,
political
reframe.
correctness.
Just re-rack here, Tim.
So, someone came in and was sharing it like that. Like, I'm trying to get this recovery, and like I'm elevating, and I'm trying to just like I got my dope, and he's like, it like clicked for me. He's like, man, so like I need to get this 1 gram at a time, and you'll hear
Right.
it, and you'll hear him
Dude.
talk about it today. Like, man, I grabbed me a half ounce of that recovery today.
Dude,
I
when,
love it.
when I hear people say like, "I'm so content now," I'm like, "Fuck it, gross." I don't want. I don't.
Gross.
I'm
mindset.
never in that mindset.
Nope.
Like that's not to say, dude. I don't wake up every day and I'm like, "Fucking, this has got to happen." Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm happy, but like I have goals, and dude, I don't know. I never wanted kids. And like this last 2 months, man, dude, all I think about is like how I'm gonna set it
Bro,
up
you've
for
been
this
glowing
girl.
more than your girl was when she was prego.
I know. I'm about.
Donnie's
I'm
been
bigger than her
glowing.
too.
He's been glowing, like glowing.
Dude,
Proud
like
papa.
I just didn't like think. I didn't know. Like I thought I knew love. All right.
Come on. Share this.
You know,
And then I wanted your take on it too.
with Casey, like, and you know, I like codependency. Yeah, you fucking throw that in my repertoire of problems. Like, codependency is a very real thing. And you know, I throughout a majority of my life, like, you know, even when I quit doing meth the first time, I had a girl. So if she loves me, I'm okay.
She can fix me.
Yeah, she'll fix me, or I'll fix her, and then fucking tear her down even worse. That was just how I lived life. Yeah, as long as I have a woman that tells me I'm worth loving, then I'm okay. You know, it wasn't until getting sober and again, I got sober and I got into a relationship that I shouldn't have. And then I was the one to end that. And you know, I spent some time by myself, probably the longest I've spent since I was, you know, 15. And you know, and that's, I'd like to say that I worked on myself and things were great. No, dude, I did some shit that I have definitely frowned on people for doing. I started hanging out with some newcomer women in the meetings, whatever. I don't need to shy away from it. Like this is what I did. I don't have to hide it. I'm not ashamed about it.
It's not what you do, it's what
Like,
you did.
It's and I owned it. I addressed it. That's when I got back into therapy. And you know, throughout this, you know, year and a half, Casey and I were like best friends. You know, and that's because I don't think she's listening, but like, dude, for one, like, she's too pretty. Like, she was never an option in my mind. Like, she's too pretty. It's just the way it is. Like,
Donnie, give yourself more credit. Come on.
whatever. Like this, I'm telling you how it went for
For
me.
your head,
Like,
okay.
yeah, I was just like, she was never an option. She's too pretty, and you know, you were talking about it earlier. Going into meetings with women, you gotta like, you know, look like all that.
Yeah.
She was my friend. I was never trying to fuck her. Like, there's a certain guard that you put up around women that you're trying to
Yeah.
conquer.
Yeah, you're trying to put on a
yeah,
show.
you put there's
Put
this
on a
facade that
facade.
where you don't like tell them
Big boy
everything.
words.
Yeah, and you allude to the fact that maybe you're a piece of shit. I didn't have any of that with her. I was just like, I could just be straight up with her about everything, which is like really like the first time I've done in my life with a woman. Like,
Really being you.
yeah, because I was just, I'd always clutch to this, like, fucking, I was a drug dealer, tattoo artist, like,
That was
women.
your identity.
Yeah, it was, and like, I didn't have to do any of that with her, that's like, I thought that, like, when our relationship started, and like, dude, that year and a half of friendship really like put a fast forward button on the relationship because like. Yeah, I asked her to marry me like 6 months later.
Well, and
at
think about
Minac.
like any woman that's around men and that's involved, like they don't get that side of it because usually it turns into just a friend zone. But it sounds like in a situation like that, which I get, that's who I'm with, is someone that was my friend. I mean,
I had never done that before, and dude, the beauty that that paved the way for this, like. I don't know, the beauty in the relationship that I have with this woman is like truly indescribable. And then like, we talked about everything that we wanted later down the road right away. And, then I started praying to like be a better man and like be a father. And like for a little bit, we thought maybe we couldn't get pregnant. And then the day before her birthday last year, found out we can. Dude, and like, I kind of, like, my baby girl would kick on her stomach whenever I put my hand on. And like, shit.
Come on. Let's hear it out.
Like, yeah, fast forward to delivery and that whole thing, catching my daughter, and then like cutting the cord and then just like holding her and like even jump to, last night, we went for a walk at a park in Shakopee, and like that picture that you showed, I took last night, she looks like that at me all the time and like sticks her tongue out and shit. And like, I just didn't think love like that existed. And, dude, like, I will do anything to provide a life that I can for this human that I helped create. And like, for anyone struggling with a higher power, like, I don't know, have a kid, but like, man, dude, if I had any, like, yeah, there is something out there that's like.
I know we just met, but I gotta tell you, I love you guys already.
I love you too.
I really do. I appreciate your stories and your energy, and I feel really good things coming your way. That's just my gut instinct is just saying that
They just shared about some of the biggest good things that did come their way.
I'm proud of you guys. I mean, it sounds like you've really come a long ways, and I know what it's like having. I've got 2 grown kids.
Wait, what? 2 grown girls?
Two grown girls.
Girl night for kids.
Yeah.
Girls.
Everyone on the shows had only daughters.
Dude, I called it though. It's been the beginning. I was like, if karma's real, I'm gonna have a daughter.
That's exactly what I said too.
If you have a son, you only have one boy to worry about. But
Right.
if you have a daughter, you got 1,000 guys to worry about.
Come on, don't scare him. His daughters are all grown up.
Ready for that.
I'm not ready for that either.
Charlie, I know you could go on all night talk about your daughter. I know you could. Yeah. Take us through.
Your turn to
I
cry.
want you to, from you already shared about you there were some miscarriages and like.
Yeah, so, I mean, preface from where I was in my addiction, I mean, I was homeless. At my worst, I was homeless. I was catching buses left and right, asking the driver for a free ride to stay warm, you know what I mean? And I was going to Mystic Lake Casino, and now I'm banned for life because I've done a lot of shit there, trying to fight security guards and this and that because I thought they were trying to hurt me, and and so now I'm banned for life, you know, and I you know, I was down and out, you know. I was just walking around in the snow in a little sweatpants and a sweatshirt, you know, freezing my ass off, just terrible, like just living this terrible life, you know. And there's this one point, and I was in Walgreens, and I stuffed my bag full of food and stuff because I was so hungry. I haven't eaten in days, you know. And I start walking out, and I just start running, you know. And then I run out, I slip the second I walk outside, and I get up, and I lost half the shit, and I just kept running, and I see cops, and like this is like it like rained. It was like December 24th, I think, and it rained.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it rained, and then it snowed right after, so the roads were just slippery, right? And so I see cops, and they try to stop, and they just keep going. I was like, that was a God thing, and I just kept running, and and I'm running, and then I start crying. You know, I'm like, am I really about to go to jail because I'm hungry? You know, and like that was just where I was at, you know, and I ended up halfway across the country, and I got a plane ticket. It was COVID time, still plane tickets were super cheap. I got somebody to get me one. I ended up halfway across the country, homeless. I got stranded out there, you know what I mean? And I was staying in homeless shelters out there. I don't know anyone out there. And I ended up getting my mom to convinced my mom to get me a plane ticket back home. And I was like, I don't want this anymore. I'm fucking sick of this, you know? And from there, I went to treatment, and that was the last time I've been to treatment so far, you know. And fast forward to now, you know, I say a year ago, you know, we ended up. Kayla had a really bad attitude, I want to say. You know, it's really like kind of messed up, but like she had this attitude, and I was like, "What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "You know what? You should take a pregnancy test." And it was, and
not told me that.
And then she did, and she was pregnant. And I was like,
Hormones.
I was like, that was it. I knew it. I knew something was up. This is not right. She's such a sweet girl, you know. And she was like being really mean to me, and you know, and we found that out, and right away. So she's actually had 2 miscarriages before me, you know, and so right away she's like, all right, we got to make an appointment.
She already knew.
Yep. And so we didn't even make an appointment. We went to this place in Apple Valley. It was like a free place, and they took us in. They separated us, made sure she wasn't being abused, and took me back and like sat me down and made me have like a therapy session with this guy. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I thought we were just gonna get an ultrasound and get out of here, dude. What the fuck is happening? You know, and like. Apparently, it's like a place for battered women, and I was like, "What is happening?" And but like we ended up getting back together, and then she actually had an ultrasound. They couldn't find anything. She was like 4 weeks or something like that, but she just knew something was wrong, you know. And she started bleeding a little bit, spotting, you know, and she just knew something was wrong. We went to the hospital, and we actually found a little something, but there's no heartbeat, you know. So right there, you know, she just broke down, started crying, and right after that, like pretty soon after that, we were like, let's try again. You know, we were so ready. Like I found out, and I was like, all right, go to bed. I tucked her in. I was like, I'll see you later. I kissed, you know. It was just so sweet, you know. And so I was so excited, and like we're like, let's just try again, you know. And
that's the fun part, though. But okay.
Yeah. Wow, Tim.
and so we did. So we tried again, you know, and she got pregnant right away. And we actually made it to 8 weeks. We saw a heartbeat, you know, and we took a vacation out to Montana, right? And from there, she started spotting when we got to like South Dakota, and from there we went to one hospital that was a really small hospital and didn't have a lot of, you know, stuff, and and they're like, yeah, they tried to do ultrasound, couldn't see anything, and because she was still, and then so they sent us to another hospital 2 hours away, which is the way we were going anyways. So we went there. and they actually had a good ultrasound machine, and they found something, no heartbeat. And this is like a first day of our 14-day vacation, you know, and so we're like, all right, we started crying, called our family, you know, just let out all the tears, and we just continued on our trip, you know, and we got to Montana. We got into this the campground we stayed at was called Emery Bay Campground, right? And for right there, like, we were in the mountains. We were in our happy place. That is our place, right?
Where's it, like in Missoula or Butte or?
We were in Glacier.
Glacier, Glacier National.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And it was just the most beautiful place. We fished and we just sat there and we talked for days. You know, we did a lot of stuff. We talked for days about what we want to see in our life. Like, maybe this isn't the right time. You know, we connected and we fell in love so much from something that should have tore us apart. You know, and so fast forward a year, she got back on birth control. We decided to wait a while. We don't want to go through another one right away. You know, we just went through 2 within months, you know. And so fast forward a year, we ended up taking another trip a year later to Montana again. And I was planning to propose to her. So I ended up buying a ring, telling everybody because I was so excited, making everyone hold the secret, you know. And so we get out there, and we take this 12-mile hike. Holy fuck, I was out of shape. That was terrible, dude. At 2 and we get we're struggling. And preface before the trip, Kayla's grandma, she's a little kooky. She got in a car accident. She has a TBI, a couple TBIs. She's a little kooky, but she's a believer in Jesus, you know, and she gave us an inhaler, and she's like, God told me to give this to you. And so we're on this hike, and we're almost there, right? We're almost there, and I'm like, we just gotta keep going. She's like, I can't do it, I can't. And I'm like, no, we gotta get to that rock up there, right there. I mean, because like the view was amazing, like this bright blue glacier water lake, like it was amazing. And so I start pushing her, and she's like, stop. And like, and I was like, and the only time we ever kept it on us was at this hike. And so I pulled it out, gave it to her, and she's like, like, you know, she could breathe. Yeah, it was insane. And and then after that, we ended up getting all the way up there, and like, this is like an isolated area, you know.
You're like, you gotta get up there. I got something to do up there.
There's a mountain like completely blocking. Like, there's only one way in, one way out. And by God's grace, there's this old couple up exactly where I need them to be.
Right.
So we get up there, and she has this camera that she bought for the trip the year before. And so I take it off of her backpack. I'm like, and I start running, and I just start sprinting to the old people. And I got up there, and I was out of breath, and I was like, hey guys, and they were like, what the fuck? And I was like, just give me 1 second, just give me a second. And I was like, all right. I was like, I'm gonna ask my girlfriend to marry me. I was like, I'm gonna ask you to take a picture. Can you click video instead? And they're like, yeah, we got you. And so we got up there, and she took our backpack off, and she's like, what button do I press again? And Kayla went over. She's like, I'll tell you, because it was her camera. You know, I was like, no, and I shoved her out of the way. I'm like, press this one right here to record. And so we took the picture, you know, and took the video, and I proposed, and it was beautiful, you know. And it was amazing. And then the hike back, terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
Yeah, but imagine if she had said no.
Yeah.
Could you imagine a 6-mile hike back after being told no?
It doesn't matter. You're going downhill.
Yeah, dude. It was terrible.
Tell you what, I bet it would have went a lot quicker if she said no.
No, but so, you know, that happened. You know, she had the asthma attack, and it was very abnormal for her. Like, she's outdoorsy, she's a hiker. You know, like she was struggling, and we end up next day. She's been having really bad cramps and stuff. So next day, we end up going to the store to get a pregnancy test, and takes it, and it was negative. No, she wasn't pregnant. And then it was a pack of them. So the next day after that, she took another one. She's pregnant, you know, and that's what this baby we have now.
Miracle
the miracle baby, rainbow baby is what they call it, you know. And so we didn't have any time to be excited about getting engaged. You know, we're like baby,
Right,
you know, like
baby.
and we're like and we're struggling as well because like, we don't want to lose this baby,
Right,
you know.
right.
And so we get back home and she actually had enough miscarriages for insurance to cover like a fertility guy.
Oh, really?
And you know, you need to have 3 to be considered high risk. And so
Otter God.
she was considered, you know, those 2 that she had before me.
Yeah.
The guy was a piece of fucking shit.
Good. Fuck him.
And
Fuck that dude.
and if she had a kid with him, she would have just had another baby daddy, you know. And to have those 2 and then 2 with me as well, you know. I think it was 4 to actually have insurance cover it. So we started seeing this guy, and he got her on a bunch of stuff. This Lovenox shot that took, and she had to do a shot in her stomach every day for 30 weeks. And
Is that a blood thinner type
it
of
is. It's a blood
Lovenox.
thinner.
Yeah.
And so her whole stomach was
Dude, she
bruised
like-
up.
yeah.
Her whole stomach was
I'm
bruised.
very
It was
familiar. I
crazy.
know. Yep.
But I mean, by God's grace, you know, every appointment we went to, she had a heartbeat. And then
What's the stress level like when you're just? I mean, that's a big fear. You guys
it's
had it happen.
insane. It's insane. You're just sitting so to the point of the stress level, like the 2 we had, like where the baby's just a circle still, a beating circle.
Right.
You're like, we saw the beat right away, and we're like, oh, you know. And then the next one we had was because we had a bunch of ultrasounds right away since she was high risk.
Right.
And the next one we had, they put it on the stomach, and like we didn't see anything. You know, we're used to seeing the little dot, and then all of a sudden, arms and legs move, and we're like, holy
Hell yeah.
fuck, you know, like we see like a human being in there now, you know. And we just started bawling,
I
like
bet.
it was
Yeah, he
insane.
called me crying. After
Yeah,
that
dude,
one.
it was insane. He was like,
Legs and arms.
there's like she was moving around like crazy, just letting us know that she's okay, you know. And you know, and so as time went on, you know, she got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. She's 5 foot, you know, so the baby just went out, dude. Like,
Yeah, dude, she's so short.
and
She looks so uncomfortable.
dude, so uncomfortable, you know. And then then, you know, 8 days ago or 9 days ago, I forget, you know, the Thursday, 2 weeks.
A little over a week ago.
Yeah, but you know, we went in and we were nervous as shit, you know, and so she ended up having to have a C-section. Baby was really high. She's a high risk, you know, so we just scheduled a C-section. Got in it. We had to wake up at like 5:30 in the morning, get there at 6, sit for 2 hours, and while she gets poked and prodded and questions, and then they take her back first. They're like, all right, we'll take her back. We'll come back for you in 20 minutes because we have to put the spinal tap in her and get her ready for surgery. And I'm sitting there in my little scrub ground, like so scared, dude. Like, oh my God, like, and like the doors open and people are walking by looking at me, and finally they come back to get me, and I'm like, let's go, you know. And they end up. So she's laying down on her back. They got a curtain right here. They have a seat right by her head, so I sit down.
Right.
And like I'm covered as well. I can't see anything. And I'm sitting there for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I'm like, fuck this. I want to watch, you know. And I stand up, and they're all like, whoa, like don't pass out, you know. And
I bet they
because
see that shit.
all the time.
Yeah.
And so like I'm just standing over what her whole belly's cut open.
Yeah.
You know, it was
yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
And and I'm just watching, and I'm like, start to get lightheaded a little bit. So I unlocked my legs, you know, and like I kind of leaned into the curtain, and they were like, "Stop leaning into the curtain," you know, and and then I saw like, then he started to reach in, and I saw clear water. It was like her water broke, you know, and so I pulled out my phone, I started recording, and
They don't care.
no, they didn't say anything to me.
He live streamed it. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. No, but and then I saw her. So my fiance, she has this little. They call it in the hospital. They call it a chin dimple, but I call it a butt chin. And
Nice.
and
Her favorite, I'm
and
sure.
the babies, and then you pulled the baby's head out, and in seconds, like so, they brought her back at 8 o'clock in the morning. They came to get me at 8:20. The baby was out at 8:29. And just like that, you know, and she came out and she had that butt chin, and dude, I was just bawling, dude, just crying my eyes out, like, no, this is real, like, this is a real baby, like, I didn't believe it was gonna be real until I actually saw her.
You put eyes on it.
And you know, she just started crying, and I gotta cut the cord, and yeah, it was a beautiful thing.
You did too? You got to cut the cord?
Yeah, she was 7 pounds.
Hey, you talk like you were Anthony Carter or something. You're like, I caught the baby.
Dude, I did.
Hell
dude.
yeah, you did.
She fucking comes, like, Casey will come down here and tell you what to do. She, like, you finish your story.
Yeah.
First. Yeah.
Well, no.
Kayla, she was awake the whole time.
She was awake the whole time. Yeah, she felt a lot of discomfort. She couldn't feel herself breathe because she's numb you know. And you know, the baby came out 7 pounds 8 ounces and 8:29 a.m. and yeah, I mean, and then by then we brought her back and we were in our room, and she was in recovery, you know, and I was on daddy duty, you know, she couldn't stand up,
right,
you know, and so and after the first day, I'm changing the baby's diaper and I'm changing her diaper, you know, and she couldn't bend down, nothing, you know, she got this huge scar on her, you know, and
because they go the waistline way.
Yeah.
Right? Yep.
I mean, and the same thing almost happened to her as well. You know, like she sat down, and in like 10 minutes later, they checked the under her, and there's just so much blood like everywhere. And so, and they were like panicking, but like in a very calm way, because they can't. And so they grabbed it, and they're like, and they took it back. They're like, go weigh this for me, real quick. And they had to weigh like the sheet, how much blood she lost, you know, and they watched her to make sure she didn't lose any more blood. And she didn't, which was good. So yeah, that was good. I mean, it was best day of my life, dude. Yeah, best day of my life.
I got Chex Mix too, homemade. My own. Yeah, them are fire.
There's a 100% chance Charlie and I are getting tacos after this.
Yeah, 100%. I was just gonna ask you. You know what?
From where? Where are you guys going?
Dude, there's this new joint over in Bloomington by where I used to be homeless for a while.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, right by that Walmart, actually.
Pretty close to the
they're open till like 2 a.m.
Was the place you're talking that hotel, that motel,
Quality Inn?
Was that right off the highway? And there was a Greek restaurant right here.
Yeah, I think so.
And don't you know, I brought my girl there thinking I was gonna like ball out, and I got the hot tub suite room there, and we get there.
Gross.
I didn't know.
Dude, so gross. Stay off any of those hotels.
I didn't know, dude. Man. And this was like a makeup deal. I was like, I'm gonna bring you to a nice hotel.
You took her to the Quality Inn, this shithole, like.
Oh, it was, man, and these Hindus ran it, and like.
Damn, always with the racist shit.
I'm trying to paint a picture, bro. I'm painting a picture with some Hindus, and it smelled like some Hindus ran it, dude. Like all paprika and shit. Like,
I don't think you can say that.
Man, it smelled like curry and paprika, and it was some Hindu ethnic shit, and it smelled like their shit. Man. It's
don't take your girl there. What's wrong with you?
I learned the hard way. We ended up going to that Walmart and buying sheets and buying a quilt and buying pillows. It's down that hall. I'm an asshole. But I'm filled with love, Chucky.
Yes.
I'm filled with love.
Yes, you are.
I hate everybody equally, man.
Yeah, so like.
Yeah, I asked you, you Anthony Carter'd your baby?
Yeah, so. Dude, so like, yeah, once they, because she didn't have a C-section, which, yeah, like, you know, I like held her hand through getting the epidural and shit, which was like scary as fuck to watch.
Epidural, is that spinal too?
Yeah, and like they tell you not to look, so what do? I look, dude.
Well, it's a barrel. They use a fucking.
It's a barrel with like a fucking 2-foot needle, man. Like, it's
videos.
fucking wild. And like, you know, she didn't enjoy that. Yeah.
Oh, you think? Because you put a little numbing on there first, but that don't do shit.
You don't do shit, man. She was like in agony. I cried. I can't see someone I love that much cry.
No.
And but after that, she was flying. Like free laps. Yeah, and she was good. Like her leg, it was so funny because like her legs didn't move. Like it was funny. But then like the nurse comes in and she's like, "All right, it's time to start pushing." And
Did you do that like the Le
And
Mans
she's like-
thing? Like you guys do that stuff, right? Still, do they still do Le Mans classes? And
Oh, we didn't do any of that.
okay, I don't
Yeah.
know. So
We
she had
didn't
to
do
show-
any of that.
She had me
either.
watch a couple of videos and stuff.
They don't do this.
She's like,
shit?
you got to get ready for this, as though you can do that. Tell you what, all the videos we watched like didn't make it any less crazy.
At all.
It doesn't prepare you for watching
Yeah.
something like that come out of somewhere like that.
But like the nurse is like, we're gonna start pushing, and she's like, Dad, you gotta hold the leg up and help her, and like,
You were at a
it was
hospital, right?
yeah, it wasn't like at my apartment, like,
Don't we?
well,
pay
so
a
she
shit
wanted to
ton
do
of-
the midwife,
Okay,
but like
all right.
naturally, it's my daughter, so she showed up on the only day the midwife wasn't there.
Oh.
But so I'm
I'm
like
just
holding
like-
her leg up, and like the nurse is directing her on how to like deliver or push this fucking baby out, and like I don't know how graphic I need to get. I shouldn't.
We're at
whatever.
like the 11. We're like at the 3.5
There's
hour
still
mark.
people watching. That's crazy. What
Bro,
else?
that
National
number-
Geographic
No,
will continue in a moment.
Bro, I gotta tell you, the number you're looking
Got
at
that
times
commercial
by about
voice.
12.
All right.
Because that's just different. So there's 4 different views. I mean, I'll explain
Okay.
it after. At one point, we had almost 1,000 listening.
So I'm holding like I'll never forget this.
Don't
Fucking,
imagine.
yeah, for several reasons. But yeah, I'm like holding her right leg up, and like I'm just getting like a full view of everything. And like in the beginning, it's no nicotine.
It's weird. I thought it was your
This is my cheat. Like,
I
yeah,
thought it was a
bro, I got a $1,000 bet with a guy I work with that we can't smoke.
hey, he's cheating and he's smoking. I want
There's
500.
no nicotine, player.
So it doesn't count?
Yeah.
Oh, so you could do these.
Anyways.
Too. No nicotines.
No, there's nicotine in that.
No, there's not.
Fuck off, Tim. I'm trying to tell a story.
Look at that.
He's like-
100%. Zero nicotine, zero tobacco.
What? It's just pout. No,
Are those pouches?
Yeah, it's
Do
a
you-
new
do you
shit.
get a buzz?
That Joe Rogan shit, man.
it's
Do you
Joe
get a-
Rogan
Do you
shit.
get a buzz, or is there caffeine or something?
I don't know what it is.
Same texture, same flavor, no tobacco, no nicotine. All right, player, you
cheaters.
convinced me.
No, it is. I didn't mind it. It was okay.
Here, you try them.
Can I try one, Tim?
Yeah, go ahead. No, I got a 5-pack. Whatever. Just of course.
100%
Get after it.
ritual.
So, I'm like holding her leg up, and like, then like I start to see like some movement, and like, dude, my daughter came out with a full head of hair. So like for a while, I'm just like for about an hour and a half, I'm staring at just like a bunch of hair coming out of somewhere.
Hair.
Yeah, and
Hair
like,
coming out of hair.
yeah, and then like the doctor comes in and he's like, all right, we're gonna do this, and we go through the motions of pushing, and then like, I don't know, I felt like an eternity just seeing like the head just like barely coming out, and then like, I don't, even the nurse was like, so Dad wants to catch the baby, and the doctor's like, yeah, that's fine, and I was like, I'm doing it anyways.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah,
it goes.
like,
Doc, I don't care
because
what
dude,
you
I'm
say.
like I'm holding her leg, the baby's like right here, and like, then the stirrups came out, and like, yeah,
Did you have
and
like
dude,
a blanket?
dude, I think I was wearing this shirt actually, like,
Really?
yeah, actually, hold on, let me,
You were wearing that shirt. I remember
Yeah.
the picture. Yeah, I remember the picture.
Oh boy.
I tell you what, having kids, in particular, like girls, man, I tell you, it's just changed my life. I feel like it's made me into a better person.
Yeah.
well, and I just like yeah, well, here, this doesn't show nothing, but there's me cutting the cord. I'm literally in this shirt.
You look like a doctor. Look at your face.
I know, dude. Look how fucking professional I look.
Yeah.
Backwards hat. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, you were crying a lot, right? Like,
not right there, because I was all like, all right, Dr. Donnie. I kept joking with
who's
the
got
nurse.
the phone in their hand? Is that you doing this?
The nurse.
Oh, she got
Yeah.
you
She's
covered.
like, do you want a picture? I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. But like, yeah, I
Almost
caught
out
her.
of graduation in 18 years.
I caught her, and like, everyone was like, careful. She wasn't. She's like, dude, she came in and like,
She wasn't all bloody and
she came out.
mucusy
Well,
and-
she was messy because she definitely she pooped in mom.
It happens.
Yeah.
Mom or her? Mom, right?
Our daughter like went to the
Oh.
bathroom in her.
It's usually
Well,
yeah, it's
Yeah.
usually the. When I was whatever. Yeah,
It definitely happened.
Some other
Yes,
stuff.
I know.
definitely
I've been
happened.
there.
Tim, some other stuff happened that I'm not going to talk about on the fucking podcast.
And now a message from our
No,
sponsor.
we're good. We're at hour 3.5. We can talk about this.
Can we? What if she's listening?
Look, we went up. Look at the viewership.
7. We got 7.
Hey,
Someone's probably like, Casey, get online now.
Tim, do we got time for a quick commercial?
Yeah, come on, give it to us.
Captain Soapman here, reminding you of the importance of washing your hands before duty and after. Here's to raising the bar. Up, up, and away from germs. Captain Soapman out.
Now back to your regularly scheduled program. You did a great year.
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
And now back to the program.
There.
With
think
Will
that's
Work for Recovery.
That's a perfect spot too, because we're talking about you probably did wash up after.
Well, yeah, for sure. I washed my hands prior to catching our daughter, and then after.
That's how they said it. Dad wants to catch her.
Yeah, and it was just like, Dad wants to catch her and cut the cord, and then like I don't know, like it was just, dude. Once like the head started coming out, it was just like a fucking slingshot. After that, her whole body just came out.
I think once the head or past the shoulders, it's like.
And I just like, I don't know, I held her, and I held her right, which I don't do sometimes this to the day. You know, I got to hold her and then like
You were
bring
looking
her.
at pictures of it, weren't you?
Huh?
You were looking at pictures of your birth, weren't you?
No, I was looking at pictures of the baby though.
All right.
And I brought her up to Mom's arms, and
Put it in front of the. Yeah.
and it was just honestly like, you know, she started crying, and then I did, and you know, and then I cut the cord, and honestly, you know, things were great for an hour or so. Allie cried really hard, which made me cry, and then you know, we're in postpartum room, and the nurse comes in and like starts like wrenching on Casey's stomach. They have to like push on it or whatever.
Get the rest out, or
No,
Yeah, something like that.
They're making sure the uterus is still hard and like going down.
Okay.
Yeah, so they do that
Yeah.
every hour for like the first day.
That's got to be real comfortable.
No, not
Super
at all.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And the first time that they did it,
Some things happen.
some things happened. Like a lot of blood came out, and then like the nurses looked concerned, which like
Yeah, you don't want.
I didn't care for that.
Yeah.
And then at one point, you know, there was about 5 nurses in our room with 2 doctors. And so, like, the happiest moment of my life was very abruptly followed by the most scared I've ever felt. And because I'm standing in the corner holding our 2-hour-old daughter. And, like, it's, you know, it went through my head for a second, like, is my wife going to die before anything, like, before we even get this life that
Right.
we're planning? And, you
Yeah,
know,
all your fears start coming in.
100%. And, you know, at that moment, more than any, I had to really, like, ask the Creator.
You were praying.
Yeah.
How does that work? I'm gonna ask both of you, and even you, Chucky. Like, well, no, I'm not gonna bug you with it. I'm not. Cause that's so far long back, man. You're like 100 years old. No. If I can't be an asshole, sometimes it's not good hosting. So check this out. I need people to hate me. You weren't supposed to laugh that hard at that.
That's that ego right there. Or my favorite acronym, edging God out.
Yes. Ever getting oral. All right. Listen. So we're working this program. We can't be living in fear. Does any of this shit you've learned in this program about shit like that come into play when you're sitting in the corner holding your baby and there's 5 nurses and 2 doctors in there?
100%. Yes.
So this program came into your mind like I can't be living in fear right now.
Yeah. Not that I can't be living in fear right now. I was 100% in fear. But my instinct was to lean on my Creator.
And that's through the. So now here's the.
And that's through my fucking every sponsor I've had suggesting to me that I pray every day.
So
even like if I'm not praying when shit's going good, what the fuck am I gonna do when
that's-
shit goes bad?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
We don't pray only in bad times. So this is for both you guys now. What brought you? Did God bring you to recovery, or did recovery bring you to God?
Damn.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a
Chicken
good
and
one.
egg, sure, if you want, but it's a tricky one because deep-seatedly, I'm gonna be like, well, of course God did this, but if I didn't walk into the rooms of recovery, I wouldn't have found this higher power. But who got me into the rooms of recovery? Just because I didn't have the faith I had then.
My active warrants got me into the rooms of recovery.
So recovery brought you to God.
100. But like, but also, you know, like I said earlier, you know, I think God had me go through what I did when I was a kid to help today.
That's a tough one.
I think, in my opinion, God brought me to recovery because I wasn't working an active program when I got baptized, you know, and so when I saw Donnie at Gopher State, that was a God thing, you know, that was totally a God thing, and I went to North Star Regional 5 times, you know, completed it twice. I went to Sugar Creek.
Explain what's North Star Regional.
North Star Regional it's a treatment center over in
okay.
Shakopee, and then Sugar Creek is their outpatient
Aftercare,
with lodging.
okay.
And I went to Sugar Creek once, and I went to the meeting over on Shepherd on the Hill religiously for a long time, and then this last time I went to North Star completed. I went to New Way, completely from Chaska or Shakopee to St. Paul, you know, so I was nowhere near that church. I didn't go there, you know, and my fiance, her family lives in Chaska, right next to that church. So I would go there sometimes. I'd drive past. I'm like, man, I wonder how those meetings are, you know. And if I would have stopped by, I would have probably saw Donnie, you know. But I ended up seeing him at Gopher State, and seeing him at Gopher State, I go. My home group is now at Shepherd of the Hill in Chaska, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And Donnie brought me back to those meetings, you know. So I think it was a God thing that I saw Donnie at Gopher State.
All right. And it can always be
Situations like that, I 100% think, yeah, it's God, yeah. But being in recovery is my choice.
Totally.
All right. Well, then here's another.
I choose to stay in recovery because it strengthens my relationship with my Creator.
All right. Here, I'm going to put a curveball out here, and I'm going to just say a statement. I want your thoughts on it. I can pray for the plants to grow, okay? But if I don't water them, they're not going to grow.
Okay, God will do for you what you cannot, and God will take away what you can't handle. But God will not do for you what you can.
That's a good one.
I hear what you're saying. I believe that you can pray all you want, you know. Like, so my job right now, I knock doors and I try to, and I'm selling roofs through insurance. You know, I can pray that people answer the doors, that people let me on the roof, that they let me file the claim, that they let me build the roof after we get the claim filed. But if I'm not putting in the work, nothing's gonna happen. I can pray about it all I want, but if I'm not going out there and knocking those doors, it's not gonna happen. You know.
I get it. I have to say, listen. Someone said that in a meeting a long time ago, and it's like, and it was a shout out to their higher power. It was like, look, man, God's got me, but listen, I gotta put some work into this. We have a part to play. Like, I don't just get to say God's gonna do all this for me. He gave me the ability to do some shit, and I have a responsibility to do some shit.
Yep.
Like, I can pray for the potatoes to grow, but if I don't water them and till up the dirt and do my part, man, I want $1 million. I'm gonna pray for $1 million.
Have you heard this story? There's this guy who's on a cruise ship, and falls off.
I was just thinking about that.
And the Coast Guard comes by with a life raft and offer to help save him, and he says, "No, God's got me." And then another fishing boat comes by and they offer to save him. He goes, "No, God's got me." And then another boat comes by offering to save him. He says, "No, God's got me." And then he drowns and dies. Then he gets to heaven and he's like, "Where were you?" And he's like, "Motherfucker, I Coast Guard, cruise ship, fishing boat, and he refused them all.
Dumb motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's the same line of question. All right, boys. We went 3.5 hours.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Chucky, back to what we used to talk about.
I was talking to you.
What's your... Oh, yeah, I guess. Do you go by Chucky, too?
Chuck sometimes. Some
Chuck
people call
sometimes.
me Chuck, yeah.
All right, Soap
Hell
Man.
yeah.
Hey, Armor of Yah, Soap Man. What would your superpower be?
I keep thinking I would like to have a superpower where I could walk into an area where there'd be complete chaos and just bring peace.
Wow. Good one.
Power of bringing peace. Okay. Chucky, what would your superpowers be? You knew I was going to do that. All right. What would your superpower be? Any superpower.
Any superpower. I mean, probably teleportation.
Ooh.
Because I can go to the mountains whenever I feel like it. You know, I can go to wherever I want to be whenever I feel like it. You know, and then
Dude, I told you she was watching. I love you so much.
we love you, Casey.
You were watching the whole time.
That's my wife.
She had to make sure Shorty got to sleep. Then she tuned in.
No, Shorty zonked. That
Thank you for sharing your husband with us tonight. Both of your women.
she don't share.
You're here, aren't you? All right. No, I want to hear more. Teleportation. Come on. What'd you say it was?
Chuck.
Chuck, your superpower again? Elaborate again. What was it?
Teleportation, so I could go wherever I want, whenever I want.
Young man, what would your superpower be, Donnie?
The ability to create whatever I see.
Elaborate.
Elaborate?
Yeah.
Like
An example, sure, whatever. What
Like
do you
I
mean?
could paint the most realistic mural ever because I can envision that all day.
Like Strom's wife with those hands?
Yes.
Bro, you got me on a
Or
rabbit
like
hole.
make like the greatest tattoo ever, or really any form of
Oh,
art.
speaking of that, did either of you eat the placenta?
No.
Eat the placenta.
I'm legit.
No,
I'm
I didn't even. It was.
You're supposed
We
to
were
feed it to the
so.
baby or something. I thought.
The mom's supposed to eat it.
No,
Yeah.
my guy Tom Strom told me because I was getting a tattoo from like 20 years ago, and there's a picture.
Dude's a
of,
legend now. Shout out Tom Strom.
yeah, and his wife. She's a beast on that
She's
canvas.
better than he is with painting.
So there's a picture of my tattoo artist holding up this man. Where's this camera? Look, he's holding up this thing. He's doing like this, and it looks like this red like liver. It looked like liver.
Yeah, I
And-
got pictures.
Yeah, so I'm getting this tattoo, and I'm 18, I'm young, it's hurting, I'm just trying to focus on something, and I'm looking at this picture, I'm like, what the fuck is that? Oh, it's my baby's placenta. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I seared it up in a pan, and
Yeah,
I
I've
cut
heard
out
of people
pieces, and I
doing that.
eat it. It's a ritual of some other tribal type deal, and it's something to do with bringing good health or good
Right.
spirits to the baby or the
Well,
mom.
I mean, I've heard that some moms eat it.
Some moms bury it, too.
For breast
Yeah.
milk, or I had a friend who actually took the placenta and sent it off to a company, and they capsulized it, and she took those pills. And I mean, I don't know.
I think we were gonna do something like that, but then baby went doo doo, and
Yeah, I mean, I was so caught up in the moment, we didn't even ask for it, and I've heard a lot of hospitals, if you don't ask for it, they donate it, or I mean, it's worth a lot of money, but you can't sell organs in America, so.
I always thought that was such a pretty name for a kid, placenta.
Also, back to my story, my long story of all the babies and stuff. We stayed at Emery Bay Campground, lost a baby, fell in love there. Our baby's name is Emery.
Yeah. When you brought that up, you
Yeah.
made a mention of Emery, and I was wondering if that was baby's name.
Yeah.
That's dope. There is no evidence that eating the placenta provides any health benefits. It is important to keep in mind that the Center for Disease Control Prevention warns against eating the placenta.
Well, it's a filter for all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That makes sense.
And that is from
You ever drink the pond
encapsulated.com.
water?
Yes. All right, boys and girls. So the name of this show is called Attitude for Gratitude. Chuck, the Soap Man. Let's hear about your gratitude.
My gratitude, I'm grateful that God has I'm grateful for God and my family and our health and I'm grateful for everybody in this room. I just met two amazing young men in here today, and it's a joy to listen to you guys talk about your kids, their loved ones, and all the things that you've been through. And it sounds like you're doing wonderful now. And I just say, God bless you and keep you. And I know I'm getting off.
No, go ahead. Say the prayer. I know you want to bless them. Go ahead.
I would like to say this prayer for you guys, or who's ever listening to, whoever receives this. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he shine his face upon you and be gracious to you. And may he turn his face towards you and give you supernatural peace and protection. In Jesus' precious name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Charlie. Chucky.
Thank you.
Young man, the name of this show is called Attitude for Gratitude. Talk to me about your gratitude.
Yeah, my gratitude stands with my amazing fiance, her family, and the family that we've created. I'm so grateful for my little baby Emery. I'm grateful that I was, honestly, it's kind of messed up, but I was grateful that Kayla was not able to change the diapers at first. I got to, I got to have that bonding time. She worked in childcare for a long time, so she's changed a lot of diapers. I got to figure that out, and I'm grateful that, like, the second she came out, that I knew what to do. I knew how to hold her. I knew how to change her. I didn't really know how to change her, but figured it out very fast. So I'm grateful for my little baby. So.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Mr. Donnie Chapman is.
Chapman
What is your gratitude? Every time I ask people, I'm waiting for him to say, my gratitude speaks. What does your gratitude look like? Wait, let me do it the same way I always do. The name of the show is Attitude for Gratitude. Hence, what is your gratitude?
Why I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful just like that recovery has given me a new way of life in every aspect. I used to wear this image of like the hustler as like a badge of honor, when in reality, I realized like I was just a scam artist. And like when I was out there doing what I was doing, I was essentially dealing death to people. And I used to harbor this like sense of pride in being a drug dealer, and all of that. And recovery has taught me like I don't have to live like that anymore. I'm so grateful for this thing called recovery because it's given me everything in my life. I have everything I have I owe to recovery.
Right.
I met my wife in a meeting. I should preface, after we'd both been clean for over a year and work steps and now sponsor, we did all the things that you're supposed to do before we did what we did eventually. I love you, babe. Outside of that, recovery's given me people like Charlie, Tim, Chuck. This every person in my life is in recovery in one form or another.
Right.
Where I work, everyone's supportive, and like, I don't know, I just live in this life now where we all try and build each other up, and like, I just never thought I'd attain a life like that. I'm very grateful that I'm able to walk this path of recovery with so many people who back me up and believe in me.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. That's what it's about. I'm grateful for you guys. Listen, just like it says scrolling across the bottom of your screen, I want you all to know, anyone out there listening, own your recovery, own your life, fight for your recovery. You're worthy. If no one's told you that, like, I'll tell you, you're worthy, you're worth this life. So come get some of this. Come get it by the gram, get it by the ounce, whatever it takes. 2520 North 2nd Street. This is where we're having this podcast at. We'll work for recovery. We have meetings here 7 days a week. We've got all sorts. We got ping pong tables, foosball tables. We got a gym, a workout room, a computer room. We got a soap factory here. And we got Chucky the soap man.
Chucky the soap
He's
man.
dumping soap.
Shout
like
out
it's
Chucky.
Like,
Shout
what?
out Chucky.
What? The soap of hope.
You can't
And it
smell this if you're
smells
watching, but man.
amazing,
Yeah,
dude.
it's
Oh.
saponified with love and cinnamon
Good.
and oatmeal and all that good. Let your women try that. They're going to love it.
Nah. She
He
come get her
said that
own.
shit.
Come get her on.
But real talk here, man. Like, we've talked about some heavy shit tonight, and we talked about some suicide stuff came up tonight, and we put up the hotline of 988. And if you're struggling, like, please reach out. We understand mental health is a real thing. Don't shy away from it. Like, go seek some professional help or get connected, man. Get this recovery. Get some of this life. You've heard us all talking about it all night long about this new life we've been living, and it's here for the taking. It's worth it.
That's like what I'm saying about recovery. Is it's shown me that I can talk about what's going on, and there's someone who's been through it.
Who can relate?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's like, man, look at these old dumb curmudgeony fucks from back in 1939 figured out.
Dude, Bible thumpers that like crazy, and like I relate to them, and they showed me how to live a life.
Bro, it turned like an addict talking to another addict about how we used to get fucked up and now we don't get fucked up and I have a higher power. Like, that was the key? That was it?
Dude, it's simple program for complicated
dumbass,
people.
complicated knuckleheads.
I was gonna be nice, but Tim, yeah. I mean, I'm dumb, dude.
I was a dumbass knucklehead
Yeah.
who thought I knew the answers.
Hard head makes for a soft ass, and I got the softest ass in this room, all right?
I thought it was kind of juicy, but I guess. What? I can't like a guy's ass? All right, so.
What the fuck?
I'm trying to do the rap.
No, and if you're still listening, which thank you, dude, that's crazy. We've been talking forever. But like, thank you all. And if anyone is listening that is struggling, like, say something to anyone. Like, just reach out.
My gratitude is seeing people on here laughing and giving joy to one another. Made me laugh, and the ability to laugh fully, and just able to hear the people on here laughing. Listen, that's what we do here, man. Like, the fellowship is a real thing, and finding recovery showed me that there's some fun shit to do in life besides fun stuff to do in life. I mean, before it wasn't fun. Once I got here, I realized this is what fun is. Donnie hit it on the head. That's how we usually wrap the show up, is exactly what Donnie is saying. Like, come get some of this. You're worth it, and it's here for the taking. Like, come on.
None of us are special.
Hell no.
This we can all. Anyone can lose the desire to use and be free from active addiction.
Totally.
Close us out with a little more of that type of talk. I'm going to let you do this. Come on.
What?
Come on.
Well, now you're putting pressure on me. Look, all I'm saying is it doesn't matter your situation. There's a way out. Like, I used to suffer from being terminally unique, and I thought that I was above any type program. I would see God on the wall and ran, and much like some others, I'm sure I convinced myself that I am too special for anything like this, and that I am someone. No matter where I am, I had to have my pride and ego completely leveled and realize that should I choose, can be a part of something. And acknowledging that I'm not the special boy that I thought I was for so many years, King baby for life. Once that stopped, like, dude, everything that I used to pray for, like, just showed up.
Yep.
This is the first time I let someone else outro this show, and that's why I'm not going to let it happen. Chucky, I want you to grab that
there he
Cuda
is.
horn and give us a blowing and then a blessing. Don't get excited, boys. Chucky, break us down with a blowing and then a blessing. It's on you. You got the only live mic right now.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yimarecha Ya'er Adonai pinav alecha v'chunecha Yase Adonai penavalecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he shine his face upon you and be gracious to you. And may he continue to turn his face towards you and give you supernatural peace and protection. In Jesus' precious name I pray. Amen.
Amen.